Hang on, microphone. All right, check 1 2, check 1 2. You guys hear me? Can you guys hear Matt? Go ahead, Matt. Start talking, Matt.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so we got us both here. We got Matt here from Inside the Mind of Matt. He runs a YouTube channel as well. Everybody good? Go ahead. Because last time I had stuff muted and people were like, we can't hear you. We can't hear Scott. So, are we all good, everybody? And I'm just turning my air conditioner unit down so you guys don't have to listen to all of that noise.
Can you hear my printers in the background?
I can't hear your printers in the background.
Okay, good. Because I got two of them running right now, so.
Yeah, let me make sure. Are you guys getting like is Matt's voice good? Because I got him on like kind of an auto, like an auto
Hey,
thing.
everybody. Welcome inside the Mind of Matt. I'm here with Tim over at TH3D. And we got some things going to be happening between the two of us, and you guys are going to get to see it coming soon. Video near you.
All right, so chat's working. That's good. I didn't have to update the chat URL. Usually I have to update the chat URL. So we are broadcasting live at 1080 60 frames per second. All right. So Matt and I, this is kind of like it's been a crazy day for me. I lost power earlier today, and I thought I was originally going to have to cancel. And then had to get a bunch of machines up and running. So, Matt, what kind of stuff did we want to talk about today?
Oh, no, we just kind of like an impromptu little thing. I mean, you got a lot going on with your life and the things that you do for the community and this is your business. I mean, that's what you do for a living is 3D printing. And two of us got chatting and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize we were friends. And so, I figured we'd get the community active and let people know that we're out here and
Yeah,
got interesting things going on.
Because I remember you from the ANET group is where I saw your stuff when you were just
Okay.
just a newbie.
Just a newbie, yeah.
Because wasn't that
That's
your
it.
first machine? Was the ANET A8?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got it for Christmas. And I actually pardon me, I had to get a drink. A drink, don't get mad, please. But no, what it was is I sat for like a year or so just sitting and watching YouTube videos. I would, my son learned how to solve the Rubik's Cube on watching YouTube videos. And I'm like, well, he's got my mind, he's my like my little mini me. And if he can learn how to do it, then I can learn how to do it. And of course I did. And then I learned how to play the harmonica by just sitting and watching video after video. I just put cable away and put my game away and just started to try to learn things. And then I saw the King of Random do his mini foundry. And, I've got all this scrap that I bring home from work, and there it is. And I just found the solution for what I could do with it. And then it was like, well, I started searching on YouTube and there wasn't a lot of channels doing it. And then, of course, anybody that's into metal casting that does any research online, every direction is pointing towards a 3D printing, So it was like, that's what I want for Christmas. And if you don't get it for me, I'm going to buy it for myself. So she kind of let me know that I was going to get it. And I'm like, there it is. I'm getting a 3D printer for Christmas and I'm going to do some casting with it. I'm going to do a YouTube channel. And here I am.
What do you, so I believe you are, you said you're an electrician, right?
Yes, sir. 23 years almost.
Okay. So you probably get a lot of pipe, you probably got a lot of extra pipe laying around though, don't you? From conduit?
Well, Well,
Because aren't you doing
but
a
then,
pipe printer?
well, yes, I'm actually working on a kind of new construction. They took an old building, they completely gutted it, and now they're kind of reappropriating it into three different sections. That two of them have been actually, they're going to be occupied by doctors' offices. So we're having to use like medical grade conduit or medical grade wire and a lot of conduit. So I've been able to bring a couple of scrap pieces home in order to make a conduit printer. Yep.
I forgot to unmute myself. That's the one that's got the 628 bearings to ride along the extrusion, the pipe, right?
Yeah, actually, all three axes move on uh, a bearing caster. There's five bearings per
Per carriage. Yeah, because you were showing me a bunch of stuff. You got more projects going on than I do, I think.
Yeah, this is one of the bed pieces. So there'll be two of that, and so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually this one has 5, 6 bearings. So there's like 3 bearings contacting on each one. And then of course this is for the. This is kind of goes like this, and 2 pipes ride across. So this is for the where the hot end mounts. And I've already seen a couple of things that are not perfect. Like these holes, I believe should actually be like slotted. Like the CR10 bed, how it's got the eccentric nuts on it.
Right. Yeah, because you need a way to like tension it against the pipe.
Yeah, I did have an idea about getting some larger shrink tube, and where those bearings are going to be, put some shrink tubing on it, so it has more of a like a smoother surface, I guess. I think it would probably dampen some of the sound that the bearings against the pipe's going to make. So
now my brother, I don't know if you saw at Murph, there was a guy by the TH3D table that had like a MPCNC machine. Did you see that?
Like way in the corner?
Yeah, he was in the corner over by us.
Yeah.
My brother actually ended up buying that from him because he didn't want to take it apart because he was flying back out to California.
Oh, nice.
But it was moving slow, so I'm not quite sure how loud it is. He has been playing with it, and it seemed pretty sturdy, in terms of, play on the pipe and everything. Didn't seem too terrible.
Well, the other thing is all the bearings that I have in my possession have been cleaned and degreased for fidget spinners.
So you did. I've got a box of bearings with 628s in them.
Really?
Yeah, because I know exactly, because you clean the bearings out, we get all the grease out of there. I would throw some silicone lubricant in there after I cleaned the grease out, and they would go forever.
Oh, yeah. And of course I did my own designs and stuff like that. And I made some money off the fidget spinners. I'm not going to lie. It paid for one of my printers.
I think I sold maybe 20 or 30 of them. But I got in late. I got in way late.
This is what happened to me with this is my fidget spinner story. I was printing. I'm like, I'm going to make some money. This is one of the things that, when I got this thing, my thought was that, I've always had this ambition to invent something and then just live off of the residuals, Well, this gives me a platform to actually, prototype something. And, I thought, there's got to be something out there that I could just print and people are going to see it and they're going to be like, I want a blue one, or I want a red one, or whatever their favorite color is, And when the fidget spinner thing came out, before, the Chinese got us, and flooded the market. I put an ad out on Facebook, and I was meeting 2 or 3 people every day selling. I had a deal going for 4 for 20, and I'd sell $20 worth of fidget spinners. Boom, 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 boom. I was in a parking lot, and I was meeting somebody because I always met in public, and I pulled out the thing and I had it on the hood because I had it in a big container, and I had it out on the hood, and some lady pulled in, and I kind of turned around and I thought it was her, and it wasn't. She like walked into the store, and then a little bit later, the other lady actually showed up. And then the first lady came out and she says, "Hey, are those fidget spinners?" And I'm like, "Yes, they are." She goes, "Hey, how much you want for them?" And I sold $20 to her too. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the funny thing you mentioned is like that's, you know, fidget spinners. If you had a 3D printer, you were printing fidget spinners for a while because it was profitable. You could pay for the printer and the hobby and stuff,
yep,
But just like you said, China came in and cloned it like they do with everything else, and they're like, "Huh, we're gonna make them for $1,
yep.
and then we're over here like, well, we can't even buy bearings for that, you
Yeah,
know.
well, that was what happened. I was printing out a bunch. I found a deal on Amazon. And it was one of them things. This is too good to be true. It was like a $5 Wish 3D printer, but it was 100 bearings for $5. And I figured it was a typo, but I would get it anyways. So I found two different listings, and I got them both, and I waited. And the shipping date kept getting moved up and moved up and moved up, and finally it just said between here and here. So I ended up filing a report with Amazon, and they gave me my $10 back. But I waited for 3 weeks with all these freaking spinners that were all put together with no bearings. And then I ended up going and spending $100 on bearings at the local place, which they were like $10 for 8.
Yeah, that's not a good deal.
Went down to the flea market, paid $25 for a booth, $10 for a table, and I sold $125 worth of fidget spinners in 2 hours. So, and
Yeah, because I think I paid about $1 a bearing, or maybe less than that. Because actually it was less than that. Because I ended up buying, I think 500 of them. And I still got a bunch left, but luckily most of the mods for your 3D printers all use the same bearings, so they aren't going to waste. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on this, and I didn't even want to sell them. It was just my friends go, "Oh, you got a 3D printer? Can you make me a fidget spinner?" I was like, I hate these things, but yes, I can. Give me money.
I was going, well, oh, this is the killer one. So
I
this
thought I had
lady,
one sitting here that I made, but I can't find it.
yeah, this lady, she contacts me, and she's like, she works at a this school with her underprivileged kids, and gave me this sob story. And I'm about the kids and stuff like that. I can handle that. But so I went and did like this custom design for her, and she didn't like it. So then I switched it and modified it, and then she didn't like that. So I ended up finally coming up with a design that worked. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna print, I think it was a dozen. And she's like, okay, what color? And I'm like, well, we talked about this. It was gonna be blue. She says, well, what other colors do you have? I'm like, well, I have pretty much any color you want. She says, well, can you do 2 colors? I'm like, no, I can't do 2 colors. She goes, okay, can I get 5 red, 6 blue, 2? And she's like, oh my God. And I ended up doing it and got paid, and like didn't help anybody else after that.
So
Only my face is on the stream.
Yeah, I switch back and forth when you're talking.
Oh, okay.
I put
So
you
I
front
can
and
shut
center.
up to see your face. Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So I see you got like filament up there, and I see you use the same kind of racks I do. They're awesome for printers,
Yes,
aren't they?
yes.
Yeah, they're
I
great.
actually designed a little clip. I don't know if you can see it, but my
Ah, okay.
I got actually a piece of threaded rod and
You just
a
put your
piece of
spool on
half-inch
there.
conduit and a cut-up pool noodle to
Oh,
go
in the
inside.
center. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I
and
see
it
you got that
works.
little mini down, the Monoprice mini down there. How do you like that?
Um, it it prints all right. It's got one of the worst hot end designs ever. It's literally a block, a heat sink that's got like a T nut in it on
Okay.
each the top and the bottom, and the top has got a Bowden tube, the screw
Right, the
in,
fitting.
the fitting with just locked in with the T nut, and then you got a short piece of PTFT, PT, I can never
PTFE.
say that, PTFE
PTFE.
tubing, and then it's got even a smaller piece of tubing inside of the throat, and then but the throat and the block are just held in with another T nut.
That's really weird.
It's
How hard would it
it's
be to like swap it out for like a V6 or something like that?
um
Because it looks like it's a standard like Prusa style like rails, like the two rails on there.
I've watched a video about it, and you literally have to take the entire thing apart just to get the existing hot end bracket off of.
Off.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen if you can find like if someone made an adapter plate to go on the stock carriage once you take the hot end off? Because that would
Yeah,
seem to make the most sense.
that's what it is. It's a V6 block that mounts right up to that rail.
Gotcha. Yeah,
But my
so
CR10 started acting up again.
I was
And
gonna say
took
it looks like it stopped printing there.
yeah. But Thursday I'll have a micro Swiss for it. So I got the Fang for the micro Swiss, and I found a nice model on Thingiverse where it's modular. It's got a base plate and then it's got hinged, and you got to put screws and stuff in it. But it prints really good, no supports whatsoever.
Is
But
that the Pets thing?
the Fang,
Is it? There's you should look at one. David Petzel, I think his name is. I was literally just talking to him on Facebook. I'm trying to find his find my chat with him here. I got a third party messenger client and it's like not loading. I wonder if Facebook killed access to it. No, it was just taking a while. So basically, oh, okay, that's that one. Yeah, I've seen that one. Okay.
and it comes apart, and it's got the other piece for the actual heat sink, and it's got another cable thing, and then that's for an auto bed leveling sensor.
Oh, I wonder what you could put in there.
An auto bed leveling sensor. I'm gonna have to get one.
I might have a couple of those laying around here. I don't know. Just a few. I'm just hang on, like right here, like.
Yeah, see, I can't. The only way I can see you right now is I'm watching the actual feed on.
Oh yeah, because you don't. Hang on, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I plug another. Because the problem is, I can't. OBS grabs my camera's feed.
I understand.
Yeah. I have. Hang on. Let me just look right here. I have another Logitech camera I can plug in.
Yeah, because I
don't know if you watch my streams. I got the second camera for like close-up shots.
Yes.
Let me run out real quick. I think because my brother was over this weekend and he helped me go through everything in here and literally just took everything off my desk and put it in a box, and that box is in my living room right now. So
all right, well, that'll give me a chance to read, because guys, I'll be totally honest, the way that he's got this set up, and it's no fault of his or anything, but the way I'm looking at this is I'm looking at chat and the replay.
Yeah,
So
let me go get that other camera. I'll be right back.
Yeah, but I'm gonna read through chat and try to see what everybody's saying. So if anybody's got like a question that they don't mind repeating, I'm actually watching chat right now. So if you got a question or want to throw something out, please. What's going on? You do it. I see you yelling out. Smoke too. You, Roger, your A5 just died. Both the bed and the nozzles show the negative.
Oh, you know what? Here,
Board.
I'll have to find. So I got my main camera here is a 9, the Logitech Brio. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Okay.
It's their 4K, but I've got this 930E, which was the one that I was using before. So let me plug that in. I'll have that next to it.
Okay. As far as the A5, if you open it up, or have you open it up and made sure everything is plugged in? Because a lot of times things get loose and just takes.
Yeah, my I'm assuming you're talking about the JG Aurora. He's talking about the JG.
Yeah, an A5.
Yeah, mine was kind of a didn't even work out of the box. All right, let's see here.
To answer Jesse Foreman,
Can you see me
I
now
got the Micro
on my other
Swiss direct replacement for the stock CR10.
You see
All
me on the
metal.
other camera here?
Hang on, I got to get to that. Yes, now I can.
Yay!
Is there a way you can put the chat on that?
If you go to, you should be able to do like pop out chat on my thing and just have like the chat.
Oh yeah,
in a separate window.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pretty sure people can do that.
Let's see.
So yeah, that'll be a little good. My internet connection is probably crying right now. Let me say what my traffic is. And we're pushing out about.
When did we get the tiny machine?
Yeah, I'm pushing out about 3.5 megabytes a second out to the interwebs.
No, I bought it off of Amazon directly from Micro Swiss to answer your question there. Lazy. Blaze by 3D and RC.
Blazeby RC and or 3D and RC. That's Tor Blazeby. He actually he's one of our guys that we paid to do support for us. He was actually a customer. He was a customer of mine. He bought the kit and he had some issues with it, so I helped him out, and then we became friends. And when we were going on our honeymoon, I was like, "Hey, I need someone that could help us keep an eye on tickets while we're gone," because we went to the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. Like I didn't even have data at all, and their Wi-Fi was like a 1 meg DSL for the entire place. So, it was nice to disconnect, but yeah, he offered, and he was going to do it for free. I was like, no, we're going to pay you. So we just kept paying him. So he helps out. So like right now, if most of you guys have been paying attention to the TH3D site, we got a big notice basically saying that we're closed. So Tor and my buddy Jesus are keeping an eye on tickets for me. Basically, if there's a critical issue that I need to, they can ping me and be like, hey, I know you're out. Because I've been literally getting printers online all week. That was what I was doing. And we've also been setting up like our payroll, our QuickBooks accounting system, getting our estimated tax payments and all this other stuff done. So it's been a fun week, just administrative crap, essentially. And then working on my own printers for once, not in an enjoyable way. It's more of a rush to get everything running because I've got like 20 machines here and only half of them worked as of a few days ago, and I think I've only got I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 more to get up and running. One of them's broken. The other ones just need to get connected and have a final home where they're going to live. So, and support takes up so much of my time. It's pretty much I have to close down and be like, I'm off the help desk for a week to get caught up with stuff. So.
Hi, See Me CNC. I saw you in there. It was awesome to meet you and get a tour of your shop. Those guys are awesome.
Oh. What's up,
Jim
Andy?
Carter here. Hi, Jim.
What's is Jim Carter Part Daddy? Or who am I thinking of? What's his name?
CNC is Part Daddy. If you watched my Murph videos, the big guy that I was hanging out with.
Steve I was talking about with. That's what I was thinking. Steve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, I've got his card here. That Artemis printer they got looks really, really awesome. And if I had room, I would probably be having one. I literally just shipped a printer out to so my buddy Jesus that's helping out with the support tickets, he's just kind of a volunteer because he can't commit any time. So I literally just sent him a whole printer today. I literally just boxed up a whole printer, took it to FedEx and sent it to him because I didn't have room for it. It was a G-Tech Me Creator 2 that they sent me for review.
Oh,
so nice little printer, honestly. I didn't have to do anything to get it to print.
Did you do a live stream with it?
I didn't. They just wanted an Amazon review. I offered to do. I'm like, I can do a video review on it and whatnot. But they just wanted an Amazon review with some test prints. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not going to argue with that if that's all I got to do. You know,
easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
You know, and they were really cool. You know, I bought it through Amazon. They refunded me the purchase price, so I got it prime shipping. So, you know, it was pretty good. And I could have probably like returned it, but I was like, I'm just gonna give it away. I got the money back from it.
So you want to see what I've been working on
I was gonna say. So, let's see what you guys have been working on.
Guy at
what
work
products you got going?
Brought me this that he bought offline, which goes right there.
Okay.
But he wanted it bright orange. And
is that 3D printed?
This is, yes. The stock one is molded.
Okay.
But I guess this is a little beefier. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but
yeah, it's decent.
So this just got done printing. You guys get this. I love supports in Superfly 3D.
You know, that's the main reason I tell people to buy S3D is literally the supports.
that was the supports that just literally came off like.
Yeah, I got some parts here that I printed. Like we print like the little V6 mounts and stuff, and yeah, they just come right out. So how's the fitment?
Well, right now I'm at the point where it's about the whole lineup. Almost there.
You know, that's the beauty of 3D printing, though. You can print a part, see if it fits. If it doesn't, you make an adjustment and then print it again.
Yeah.
You know? So you gotta take into account all your machine tolerances too, because when I started basically like you know, making my own stuff, it's kind of like, okay, I gotta figure out what my tolerances on the machines are. So like if I know my one machine can only go down to, you know, 0.15 or 0.2 on XY, I gotta factor that into the design, you know.
Nice. Well, with this one, it's there's no like straight edges, you know, except for this one right here. So trying to get a measurement and then put it into Fusion 360.
Yeah.
I ended up taking a picture of it with a ruler right in it.
That's a good idea.
And then what I did is I took a line, I made that line a specific length, and then I zoomed my canvas up until it matched. You know, I did like 90 millimeters or something like that. So, oh, we got Nervies in here. What's going on?
Oh, I totally didn't even see that. What's up, man?
Yeah,
I
Jim's
gotta.
got an
I
Artemis.
actually
He
gotta
had the
talk to
first
him too.
Artemis. What's that? I'm sorry.
I actually gotta talk to Neres. So him and I we were on the phone for I don't even know how long. But we're gonna get him on board with some stuff, help him out. So
Nice.
get him on a little stream like this too.
That'd be
So,
great.
yeah.
I would like to do like a group of us.
Like
I don't know if you ever
a
watched
Brady
Joe
Bunch?
Mike's.
Like a
Yeah.
Brady Bunch of 3D
Yeah.
printing nerds? I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
But Joe Mike did a couple of them like that, where there was like 5 or 6 of them.
So,
They just
what was that pile of parts you showed me earlier? What is that for? Or is that top secret?
no. Actually, a guy he goes by the Papa Top. I don't know. He gave me a shirt. I met him at Murph and kind of befriended him, and he contacted me, and he wanted to basically clone my clone. He's got the same printer, and he wanted every upgrade that I have on mine,
Oh, on the WAN
but he
how?
doesn't have
Or
a functioning printer. So I printed a Z brace. I printed the extension for the 120 millimeter fan, a grill for it, a new fan shroud. I printed him a Raspberry Pi case. And the like the water spigot knob for the control box.
you talking about for
And that
the like the encoder?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't printed a replacement knob for those yet. So
I love this thing.
I run all the stock ones. I'm boring.
Yeah.
So the what I was asking, I see you got your pile of filament. I probably have at least 50 or 60 rolls here. What's your favorite brand? Because like I've got my go-to. I print a lot of budget filament. You know, I print a lot of I don't do the fancy stuff. I got some rolls of like, you know, Protopasta and Polyalchemy. I got some fancy stuff for doing cool little projects, but in general, I'm printing parts for people. You know, I'm printing a lot of PETG, a lot of ABS. I use PLA for like my product cases and stuff. And I print a lot of Inland. Inland is like my one brand personally that I can go. One, I got a Micro Center 25 minutes from me, so I can drive there and pay $15 a roll per kilogram. Right. And I know I'm going to put it in my machine. You know, I don't know if I've been really lucky, but I've been printing with Inland for over a year now, and I haven't had a single bad roll from them. So it's $15. I know I'm going to put it in. I can use the same settings, hit print, you know, and then just go. So what's your go-to? What's up, country?
The local electronics place. Yeah, Walter, what's going on, Walter?
And remind me, Jim, you said Jim Carter's from See Me CNC, right?
No, he's just like a social media guru.
Oh, okay. I might have to talk to him. He's asking about the Easy ABL.
Yes.
If he's asking if he changes the firmware, if it's going to print differently. Me personally, I haven't used a stock printer firmware in like over a year. I flashed my printers. Now, I can tell you that there probably is going to be a difference, and it's not going to be for the worse. You're going to get more control over it, but you can always roll back. And if you want, before you purchase the hardware, you can flash the firmware now, try it out, and then if you want the stock firmware, Tiny Machines 3D has them on their site, so you can always roll back. But I run the same firmware that everybody else runs from my site. If you bought like my product. I drink my own Kool-Aid. I tell people, you know, I literally just, before I started streaming Matt, I just updated my CR10 Mini here to the latest version. You know, I don't think you'll see a difference in terms of it. If anything, it'll be better because you're going to have better regulation on the hot end. It's going to be more safer. I mean, that's what I tell people. I don't care if you buy my stuff. Flash your printer's firmware because they have thermal protection disabled. And if something happens, you're going to start a fire. You know, I've seen too many printers catch on fire. I'm sure, Matt, you've seen, especially in the ANET groups, all the meltdowns. Yeah, you can try, I'd say try it out. I don't think you'll see a negative impact. I have custom firmware on every machine here and they all print beautifully. Um, but now that we're off that segue, Matt, what's your go-to filament? What's your cheap filament? What's like? Do you want? I'm gonna treat myself to like a nice roll of filament. Like, what's your cheap stuff, and what's your I'm gonna treat myself kind of stuff.
Well, because I have some access to it closer to that. There's like 10 minutes away. There's a place that sells filament. So, and it's the MG Chemicals, and that's what I started with because, like I said, if I can walk into a store and walk out with something, I'm, happy. I'm a creature of instant gratification. So,
I've actually never heard of MG Chemicals. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, it's a Canadian-based company, I guess, but it prints. They got PLA, they got PETG. They don't have a lot of colors in the PETG, but as far as PLA, they've got pretty much everything except for carbon fiber.
And what do they usually charge per kilo?
It's like $25 for a roll.
It's not bad. It's a little more than Inland.
Yeah, it's kind of like Matter Hackers level,
Right. I'll have to check them out. Do they sell online?
MG Chemicals, I know, has a website, but the place that I get it from will ship,
Okay, yeah, so it looks like they have mgchemicals.com. I'll have to try them out.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I'll have to see. Oh, they don't have it. They have it. So they're basically a wholesaler. It looks like.
It's an electronics store. So
okay.
You need a resistor, you need a capacitor, you need a Raspberry Pi, you need a webcam, you need a special cable, a connector. They've got it. And they sell, I actually walked in there and walked out with a Monoprice Maker Select version 2.
I'm going to pop the chat out here because I just realized I'm like kind of missing some of the stuff. Because Country 3D, he said 3D Solutech is his go-to. Okay. I have to say, I've had a really good experience with 3D Solutech. I've printed many rolls from them. Just to give you an idea of the volume I've handled in terms of filament, I've bought over 560 rolls of Inland in a year. So wow. I've got a pretty good sample size of if their stuff works. Right. But yeah, I think I've printed at least maybe 24 rolls of 3D Solutech. Their stuff is pretty good. You can get them on Amazon. Their pricing's good too. Neary's recommends, if you can remember, I can't remember the name. It's like 3D something. It was that purple. He recommends this. He's got this link to this beautiful purple filament. And I'm excited to try that out because it's a US made company and it wasn't that expensive. So, yeah.
I've been putting a lot of Tesla because he sent me a bunch of filaments. So
I keep hearing that name pop up because they're out of Israel, aren't they?
Yes. And he loves my 3D channel. Racks. So he
3D Racks is the stuff I was talking about. 3D Racks Purple Haze. That's beautiful color. I bought it for my wife to print. I built her a duplicator i3 Mini. I put a Titan extruder on there because it's way easier to load the filament in the Titan than those like.
I love my Titan.
Yeah. So that's the only reason it has a Titan. It has nothing to do with performance. It's the fact that I didn't want her to have to be like fiddling with trying to get the filament in, But yeah, there you go. Titan Arrow. I got one of those setups here. And we actually just started stocking Titan Arrows. But I put that on there. It's got the ABL kit. And it's like click and print for her. She might have to do the baby stepping, but it was easy. It's easy to show her, okay, if it's too high or too low, just tap and turn the knob instead of being like, okay, while it's printing, start adjusting all 4 knobs at the same time while it's printing the skirt. But yeah. I had to get her some nice colors so she could, she loves purple. So I bought her I think I dropped like $180 on filament through Printed Solid. I got like 2 rolls of Polyalchemy. I got some Protopasta glitter flake. Protopasta they had like a glitter purple. I also bought some of Joel, the Hi-Fi blue that Joel sells.
I bought some.
Yeah, I got a roll sitting back there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I love the color. I love the color.
What I did ended up when I was printing the Stormtrooper, I knew I needed some filament, and I was reaching out. I reached out to Matter Hackers, and I reached out to a bunch of companies and saying, hey, I'm a new channel. Is there anything you could do for me?
I'm gonna print something huge.
Well, I wasn't proud. I'm like, I'm trying to attract people. If you give me a deal, but so I got like an affiliate link through them, and Zealtech actually started me out at like a 10%, but I don't get any money from Zealtech. It's for my channel they get a discount, and then they upped it to like 15. But I get a bigger discount, not that much bigger, but. And I think I ended up buying like 20 different rolls from them just so I can print my Stormtrooper. So I got a lot of unfinished products or projects I gotta
get done. Do you know
content?
I finished two projects. I finished a chess set, which I did like 7 months ago. I did the base in PCTG clear. I did the tiles in blue and red PETG, and then I did the actual pieces in blue and red PETG. And I printed the pieces at a 0.1 layer height. So dear God, that took so long to print, but I finished that project. And then I did a giant, I think I scaled it up like 500%. You know the squishy turtle on Thingiverse?
Okay.
You like push it? I have one that took up my entire CR10 bed. So
oh wow.
It weighs like 2.5 pounds.
Holy crap.
But I basically had a bunch of, it's a weird colors. It's like gray, the head is blue, and the shell's orange, because I was just like, I got all these rolls of filament I opened, and I wanted to kind of use them up.
That's the candy apple red that Nerve's talking about. How do you say his name?
Neres.
Neres.
I'm pretty sure it's Neres. Now, correct me. Chris is his actual name, I believe.
Chris is his real name. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an awesome character, man.
I think I made the mistake. So I was talking to him. I called him just to chat because I sent him a message asking if he'd be interested in checking out, the bed leveling kit and stuff. And we ended up talking for like 2.5 hours. And like, I was like, oh crap, I gotta go start a stream. So, yeah, I gotta follow up with him. But yeah, there's so many moving parts going on right now. It's hard to keep everything on track. So,
well, it's content,
Yeah. And I want to do more. I want to do more tutorials and stuff. So just need more time. That's the problem.
Totally.
Like...
And see, my current project that one I was telling you about is like an hour and 20-minute travel one way. So that's been my day for the last couple weeks. Is I'm getting home like 3 hours later than what I normally do, and I'm tired. Up and down the ladder all day takes a toll on the old bones,
Yeah, luckily I'm not. Oh, I am actually moving around more working for myself than I was at an IT job. And my wife had a desk job too. So she's like, man, I'm getting so many steps. I'm like, well, yeah, you're running around packing orders and, running to the post office, and we keep all of our bulk of our. What's that?
Happy to do it because, it's for you instead of for somebody else,
Yeah. That's what everyone tells me. They're like, I'll just hang in there. It'll be worth it. I'm like, okay, when is it going to be worth it?
I don't know what you're looking for, a jet?
No. There's a saying about something, if it floats, flies, or something else, you rent it.
Yes. Well, what they didn't tell you is that the American dream is there for everybody, but the American dream requires you to work a lot.
Yeah. There's a little asterisk there. It's like, here's the American dream. It's like, you can work for yourself. What they don't tell you is that you're going to be working more than you were at a day job.
Well, and then what I did is I turned my hobby into another job,
Yeah. How many machines do you have now at this point? Because I see you got an Anycubic Castle back there. I got one of those. And I thought, is that a roll of toilet paper on the end there?
Yes. I I have a chronic sinusitis, so I sneeze a lot, and so I have to have something by me to blow my nose. So, but that actually, I think I'm going to do an upgrade on the hot end on that as well. That's the
Yeah,
only thing that gives me problems is I got zits out the yin yang with that thing.
So I've got the Castle and well, I've got an aftermarket board on there. I got a smoothie board. I kept the stock cold end heatsink. I got a V5 all metal heat break. Okay. And I have a V6 block on it. So it's got the stock upper part with the cold end heatsink, but I've got a V6 block on there with a V6 nozzle. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, because the problem you'll find is if you put a V6 hot end in there, it's too short. So you got to change the whole effector.
Right.
So, but if you do the V6 block, and like I said, I went all metal. You can pick up heat breaks. I don't sell the V5 heat breaks because they're kind of, not many machines have those, but you can find them. I think I picked them up on eBay for I paid for $5. It was a pack of 5 for $12 or something like that. And they're decent quality. They're better than stock, but it's printing pretty good now. And speaking of printing, my first ABS print is done on my CR10 Mini. I'm gonna see how it turned out. See if it's ready to start cranking out parts for the site.
Yeah, I was actually last night breaking out a bunch of product that I was sent for a review, and turned out that they sent me 2.88 millimeter ABS to test.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
So let me ask you a question though. Okay. I have the Titan.
Okay.
I have the 3 millimeter adapter that came with it.
You also need to change your nozzle and your heat break. You're like, dang it.
I got another roll of 2.7 or 2.88 filament that I won off of Fun King 3D's live stream because I figured I would do this adapter, but I'll have to do.
I'm sorry to crush your hopes and dreams.
That's all right. Maybe I'll have to make like a removable. I don't know how easy would that just be about the whole side. Like if I was to do a Titan.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I would just get rid of them. To be completely honest, give them away or sell them or something.
Yeah. I was told I couldn't do that. Well, the ABS roll, I can't. I could do whatever. Well, I got to figure out what they want me to do because, like I said, they sent me the wrong size, so I don't know what to do. All right, let's see.
I just realized I forgot to save my Z offset.
Jim's taking off. We'll see you later.
Jim, you're leaving us. Why are you leaving us, Jim?
This has got to fly. Probably kid stuff.
Yeah, so this is the first print off my CR10 Mini here. Oh, in the enclosure. Came out pretty good, ABS.
Let me see in the other camera now.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. That's not bad. Yeah. Oh, that's for tension.
Yeah, these are for the CR10. So this is the arm. I modified it and I actually press fit. If you look in here, the aluminum sleeves, I got basically like aluminum round spacers.
Yes.
And I press fit these in here. So basically you're not relying on the ABS to hold the weight of the bed, and you can really crank your nut down so it stiffens it up.
Okay.
But we go through a lot of these, so to have another machine that's able to print them is a big leg up here, because our ABS machines do a lot of printing. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste this a couple times in S3D and print a couple more because I just put a brand new roll of Inland on there.
Nice. Yeah, we were gonna stop at a Micro Center during my Murph trip, but it never happened. But I was just
which one would you have gone to?
What's that?
I said which one?
we would have had to kind of like take a road trip to get there, you know.
I was gonna say I didn't think there was any in Indiana.
It was like about an hour away, he said.
Oh my god.
I think that there's one in Ohio, I think,
Yes,
right?
there is. Yeah, there is.
Yeah. That I think would probably be the closest one to me. So,
I think so. Because where are you located at?
like upstate New York,
Okay.
they got
Yeah. Ohio's kind of like their main hub too.
so
I'm
like
doing
this is
bad
New
at
York
keeping an eye on
City.
chat today.
So that's like New York City, and this is Pennsylvania. I'm like right here.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a
There's one.
Michigan thing there.
That engine nerd was asking. There's not one in Chicago. There are I have two micro centers within an hour of me. Not one, but two. So, yeah, it's awesome because I've had some times where I need to clutch some parts, and it's it's nice to be able to just run out, and go to Micro Center. Like, I broke my monitor the other day, and I went there yesterday and bought a new one.
Somebody's asking a question in chat, so I was going to show them this.
Oh, you got TPU. Fancy.
This is Tesla's, and it's green. I don't want to open it yet, but I was thinking about printing it, doing some live stream and doing some TPU. I have two things in mind for that. It is going to make up the tires for my Open RC, and I have another one. 3D printing trucker. Binghamton is right on. Well, I live like a little bit outside of Binghamton, but yes, right around Binghamton.
So Matt, what kind of cool projects you got coming up right now that you're working on? Like 3D printing related.
Well, I got the Piper build. I've got a couple things I don't really want to like talk about because they're like behind the scenes kind of things. But I got the Open RC that I kind of threw out on Twitter that I was started printing it because Daniel Naray is actually a subscriber to my channel, as well as we follow each other on Twitter. And so I got that going on. I just finished up all that, printing for kind of like a friend, I guess. I could say a 3D printing friend. So, but I did get paid for it. Let's see what else. There was something else, but I designed up. I use a money clip instead of a wallet, so I designed up a money sleeve, and I don't actually have it with me. It's downstairs in my bedroom, but I figured if I flip it or printed it in Flex, then it would allow me to put more YouTube money in there,
Oh yeah, all that YouTube money just rolling in it over here.
Hey, I got a couple checks. Have you?
What's that?
I got a couple checks. Have you?
Like every 2 months, if that.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Let me see. I'm curious to see because it's not much. I don't do the YouTube channel for the money because I'd be
I
in
know,
the red.
but there's money there,
Let me see. Estimated revenue is $40. Woohoo!
Nice.
So after taxes, it's like 20.
Yeah. You gotta hit that $100 mark before they give it to you, anyways.
I know. That's what I say. It's every couple months. I don't know. It's like average about 40, maybe. It's not. I actually have ads turned off on some of the videos because it's like I should just disable them because it's like it doesn't even matter. It's that's not what it is. It's like why you got Joel who has sponsors and all these other YouTubers. They have sponsors because YouTube doesn't pay anything anymore.
Well, 3D printing trucker says you cuss too much.
I think he's just kind of I don't know, right?
See, and that's the one thing that I've been very conscientious about, because I've got a mouth that there would be like, hey, you want to watch your mouth? There's truckers in here, you know. So,
So I don't think we've swore at all in this stream, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Let's see if we can make it through one stream. There was one, I can't remember what happened. But I was doing really great, and then something happened on one of my machines. I was like, I said SHIT, and I was like,
yep.
Dang it.
I was watching that stream too. You were messing with the Aurora back there.
Oh yeah, the Aurora. Yeah.
That's fun.
I think Tor 7.
Are we at, how many are we at?
We're at 34 viewers.
32.
Woo.
Yeah, the other thing is I've got the candle, or the bronze filament. I'm gonna do a video about trying to polish it up and mess around and do some experiments with one of the failed parts that I got.
Is that the stuff from Murph?
Yes.
That stuff was expensive. Did they give you some, or did you have to fork over?
No, I went over. Well, I approached them and I'm like, hey, I have a YouTube channel that's what it's about, is metal casting and 3D printing. Would you be willing to talk to my camera and do a little interview? And he's like, yeah, just give me like an hour to get set up. And he actually came and found me and said, hey, I'm ready for you when you're ready. So he went over and he gave me that nice little interview, and then we kind of went off camera, and I talked a little bit more with the owner was right there as well, and I kind of was talking to this guy, and I turned back and looked at them, and they're like, here, if you'll make a video about it, then I'm like, thank you.
You're like, sure, I can definitely do a video.
It's an $80 roll of filament.
Yeah, see, I typically don't like doing filament reviews because it's not worth my time, and it's like, I don't know, filament has to be, in order for me to review a filament, it has to be something really new, and just not, new company comes out with some PLA, whoop-de-doo, it's PLA, it's probably going to print like every other PLA,
Hey, if they'll send me a roll of it, and I'll print a couple of, benchies and whatever, That's the thing, is I really would like to come up with like Tom had, he was pulling it and knocking it up.
Yeah,
I would like to come up with my own little twist on how to test it. What are you guys looking for as far as its abilities? It's a plastic.
Right.
So
it's
what are you expecting it to do? And it prints good. I love the color.
That engine nerd in the chat said he just finished up another print on the carbon fiber PET G from Murph samples. If that's from Atomic, I bought a whole roll of that stuff.
Amazing.
In general, Atomic filament's really good stuff. It's expensive, but it's good stuff. It's US made. Like I said, I print mostly, I'm doing bulk prints, so I'm printing the same thing over and over again. So I print black ABS, black PLA, clear PET G. I mean, I just finished another plate of parts here. These are volcano mounts for a CR10, because we sell them on our site, and I do them in PET G and ABS. So we just do them in clear PET G. It's just inland clear PET G. It's durable. And the reason I got another ABS machine online is because we do a lot of ABS prints, because most people will want they're like, well, I don't want to print ABS, but I want my hot end mount in ABS. So they'll come to us and be like, can you print this for an ABS? And I literally had one machine. So now I got two machines that can print ABS. And I got a Wanhao Duplicator D6 with the acrylic enclosure panels for it. So I'll have three machines. And then behind me, I've got another, one of the enclosures that we teamed up with Printed Solid for the CR10. I got one more of those sitting here. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put it just yet. But I'm going to have hopefully 4 enclosed machines by the end of the month. So that'll be good.
Nice. Yeah, actually, Atomic is made in the same building that
as CME and CN, right?
CNC,
yeah, CME CNC. Because
which
they're based out of Indiana, right? Both of them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just I'm gonna go back through the chat, make sure we didn't do anything. It looks like Neres was asking about the bed on the Ender 3. He said he got it up to 100C, no problem. I'm not surprised. It's a 24-volt bed. It should.
Do you ever do bed PID tunings?
No, never on the bed. It's not worth it. It's such a huge thing. You know?
I did one on my CR10, and I'm telling you, the difference in heat up time was noticeable.
So,
and I haven't had to touch it, and it's like a straight line right across.
So the reason you're going to notice a better heat up time is because the base values may be too conservative. And what'll happen is it'll start throttling the full output sooner than it needs to. So what you could do is you can either do what you did, PID tune it, or what you can do is just turn on what's called bang bang regulation, turn off PID for the bed, and then it'll just do within 1 degree. And it's just on or off, on or off, on or off.
Okay, instead of having it pulse.
Right. Because the bed, as long as your bed is within 10°C of your target temperature, it doesn't matter at all. But yeah, heat up times, I actually have in my, I don't know if you've looked at the unified firmware, but I have an option in like, there's like a section I have with like little extras like tweaks and stuff. And one of those is to turn off PID for the bed to increase your heat up times. Also, guys with the AC beds that have a solid state relay to control it, if they have PID on, you know, those beds are like 800 watts or 1500 watts. They pull a lot of power. So if you got PID regulation on, your lights are like having a seizure that are on the same circuit with that printer. Versus if you just have the bang bang regulation, they only dim slightly one time instead of looking like your light has epilepsy and is just seizing, you know. Yeah, that's what you end up having.
I'm kind of a set it and forget it. As long as my first layer goes down, I just like let it print.
So what's your favorite surface to print on? Because I go between like glass and I mostly use bed mats, specifically mine because 1, they work, and 2, I sell them, so I have a pile of them here. I genuinely like them though, but I've played with like the Marmobot build plates. I've got that on one machine, and I don't know if I like it yet. I bought one it was Ender 2 size. I have a little printer here that's like custom built. It's like 150 by 150. And I'm playing with the Marmobot. I can't get PLA to stick on it. I haven't tried ABS. PETG seems to work okay. And then glass, I can print on glass. I just don't like doing hairspray and glue, and it's such a mess sometimes.
Well, I print pretty much every one of my machines except for the Mini has glass. And I was using hairspray, but Tesla sent me some goo, some Tesla goo, and I've been using that pretty much religiously. I did get some magic goo from Murph, and magic goo works great for PLA. I don't print PLA or ABS, but it only says it's good for PLA and ABS. Right on the label.
So Magic Goo doesn't work with PETG?
It says it right on the labels. It's good for PLA and ABS.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But that's where I used the Tesla goo, and the shit works, man.
Oh!
I'll wear the dunce cap. I did it.
The YouTube gods are going to descend upon us.
We got to have a bleep button. Almost made it. Yeah, sorry.
Well, at this point, fuck it.
Ah, yes.
We're going down the down the rabbit hole.
I gotta open a window. Hang on.
Dang it. I don't even care. Like I said, I don't even care. They're gonna whatever. Like I just lost some of that YouTube money that I don't get. And I didn't pay attention. I put my offset a little too high, and my ABS print decided that it's not gonna. It's like, I'm not staying on the bed. Screw you.
I actually have an extra. We'll talk about this later, but as far as information, but I'll send you a bottle. He sent me 2 more bottles, so
Okay.
I'll send you a bottle of this. And
yeah, I'm always looking to check stuff out.
but
I'm gonna go fix this while you're talking.
I got a bunch of this stuff sent to me that I've got to review. That's the one that sent me a roll of 2.88 millimeter, but I haven't tried it yet. But there's a couple of different companies out there. But for the first, until I got the Tesla goo, I was hairspray. Then I needed it for this instead, so I got me something else.
Ow!
But I tried.
Really hot.
Yeah, 100 degrees is hot.
Yeah, I forgot it was at that temp, and yeah, touched it.
I rested my hand on it one time. Ow! 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 That's hot! Hot! Hot!
Whew! Almost done here. I just also realized my eccentric was a little too tight, so I think that's why I'm getting weird leveling on the one side.
Oh, always something. Yeah, this morning before I headed to work, I tried to start a print to actually the one that's printing now, and this monoprice is prone for the 2Z motors, like coming cockeyed.
Really?
Yes. So my ANET is the same way.
Well, it's an ANET. Let's just be honest. ANET's not.
True, but I'll tell you what, I've gotten some great prints off of that thing. Got it tuned pretty good, but
well,
you know,
my ANET is now an AM8 and it prints great, but there's nothing ANET left of it. So it's still technically the only thing ANET left of it is literally the threaded rods for the lead screws, the linear rails or the linear rods, not rails, and the aluminum heated build plate. That's it. I'm going back and forth because I just realized the wheels on my CR10 Mini were not actually contacting the extrusion, so I'm adjusting them real quick.
You're fine. We're 3D printing.
Yeah, buddy. If I can just not touch this bed, that'd be great.
Magic Goo. Somebody's asking about Magic Goo. Smell real bad. The Tesla goo does have an odor to it. It's kind of some kind of like, oh, it's hard to describe. I haven't smelled turpentine in a while, but it's almost like a paint thinner, and that's actually on the instructions. It says to use paint thinner to smooth it back out, because you can.
Really?
I've printed 5-6 different things in a row on the same spot and never had to, do anything with the glue or goo. And then,
yeah,
I hit it with I got like a little foam brush. I got a little can of paint thinner, and I just dab a little on it, push it across the bed, and it smooths it right out and it sticks. So, but I got this Wolf Bite stuff to review. I just got.
Is that I saw you hold that up. Is that just another goo?
Yeah, but it comes with a paintbrush.
Interesting. I feel like we're seeing like a flood of like adhesive stuff now coming out. Like Magic Goo came out, and like everybody's doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
But we're doing this is what I use on mine. These are actually these are from my personal stash because these have the older adhesive on them. When my supplier makes new when they make a new size for me, they put the older adhesive on because it's cheaper. But I always tell them, I was like, well, throw the sample sheets in because I'll use them on my printers. Because this stuff, if you see the 9080A on back of a sheet, this will leave a ton of residue when you put it on your machine. The new stuff I have is using the 900 LSE from 3M, which comes off completely clean. But like I said, I'll give these to like buddies, or I'll use them on my own machines because the material on the top's the same. It's just different adhesive. So otherwise, I throw them out. So I'm like, send them to me. I'll use them.
So with an auto bed leveling, there's no real way to, unless you got your offsets wrong, to dig into that thing then, right?
Yeah, if your offsets are wrong or too high or too low, yeah, you'll dig into it. Once you get used to using it, it's not that difficult. I mean, I'll run a skirt. I have a prime line, and then I run skirts around the parts. And then if it looks off, I'll tap the button twice on the screen, and it'll pull you into the baby stepping, and you can just literally adjust it right on the fly. So you can it does it instantly. So if you're really close, you can just go zoop, and it'll raise the head right up.
Oh, no shit.
So, and if you're on the stock, even if you don't have my kit, if you're on the unified firmware, or if you rolled your own Marlin and you enable that feature, you can baby step with a stock printer without ABL. So if you are like, oh crap, my bed's a little too close, you can just turn it and, oh, okay, we're good now. Walk away. Assuming when you don't have an ABL system, assuming your bed's level, it's just that initial height that's off. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So that's like when I was going to check in the printer, I was going over to check to just eyeball the skirt. Like, okay, I got some nice smush, or is it too high, too low? Because I didn't like set an offset on my machine. Usually, if you follow like my install guide, it says, okay, heat your bed up, home everything, set your offset. I'm pretty good at just eyeballing it at this point, and then be like, okay, this looks good, and then put it in as my offset, however much I moved it. So do as I say, not as I do.
Gaming Gods or Goods is asking about the Prime line. It's actually in the start code of the slicer.
Yeah, it's in the Prime line. It's in the start code. So mine's doing it right now. I wish I had my little camera so I could show, but I don't right now.
A Marlin skirt.
Looking pretty good. You guys hear me when I'm all the way over here?
Yep, I can.
Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, so if your X gantry, so the problem I had was I haven't put the dual Z kit on this Mini yet. So because the eccentric nut was so tight against the extrusion, that bar was like lagging behind.
Okay.
So I had to loosen up the tension on the eccentric and then loosen up the two rollers on the outside to push them towards the extrusion more and then tighten them back down. So that way that arm just kind of rides just barely on there, so it doesn't, basically it was compressing on it, so it was creating resistance. So when the left would move up, that was on a slight delay, so it was throwing off the ABL system.
Okay.
So, and I'll probably eventually go to dual Z on that. I literally have 3 dual Z kits, literally brand new in the box, sitting here. I haven't had time to put them on.
Do you have a source for like Z rods and lead screws and stuff
for raw parts, AliExpress, if you don't mind waiting. But while I don't like their filament, Ziltech does have a lot of good parts. I bought lead screws for my Mini because that dual Z kit is gonna have too long of a lead screw for the Mini because they don't technically sell a Mini kit, but it's the same, just it's shorter lead screws. So what I did was I bought 2 identical length lead screws that were just about 10 millimeters longer than the stock one. So they'll stick up a little more, but I don't care, So I'll end up putting dual Z on there. So yeah.
Now, do you print anything other than 4 printers?
I printed a shipwreck Benchy. I print Benchies.
I love that. I saw somebody did that on an SLA, and it looked.
This is on my Photon. Here, let me pull up my camera setting because I can focus this camera, my stream camera. So if you look at the stream, because obviously I'm not gonna be able to focus both cameras at the same time, but I can manually adjust my focus to show you guys the detail on this.
Wow. What layer height is that?
0.04 millimeters.
0.04. What size nozzle? Or is that an SLA?
This is a resin printer.
Okay, yeah.
This is, I don't know if you can see it in my frame here. You can see it on yours. Here, let me switch over so everybody sees. So this right here is my Anycubic Photon, which is a resin printer, which is why you see like there's these vats of liquid up here on top of this little shelf here. The liquids I have here, I've got a thing of just 99% IPA. And then the other one is just RO filtered water. So I put, once the print comes off, you use gloves. So I got nitrile gloves here. You put the gloves on because apparently resin is highly carcinogenic. I did not know that. So you always want to use gloves with it. So basically put the gloves on, take your print out, you know, same thing, scrape it off just like you do an FDM. Put in the alcohol, mix it around, get all the uncured resin off the print because it'll have resin on it that's from the vat. And then basically wash it off in water, and then you put it in a UV curing chamber. So I've got just literally a box with UV LED lights in here, just with tin foil to basically act as a reflector.
Got you.
So this is my curing chamber. And the UV LEDs need to put off the wavelength that cures it. So 405 nanometers in this one. These do. But I actually have a failed print in here because the supports were a little too weak and the part fell into the vat. So that's going to be fun to clean up. It's messy. It's super, super messy. Oh, there's the puppy.
Come on. Come here. Let's tell everybody say hi.
Yeah,
I
got
have the door closed and come on.
He's like, Dad, come play with me.
Want to say hi? Yeah, I love you.
He wants to go outside.
Probably does.
That's what every dog wants. I want to go outside.
All right, go lay down. She's blowing her fur right now, and
that's a husky, right? It looks like a husky. Oh yeah, you're in for a fun time. Those things shed like crazy.
Patches, man, patches.
Yeah, just clumps. I bought a car off of one of my dad's friends that had a husky, and I had that car for like 4 years. I was still pulling husky hair out of the dashboard every time I worked on it. There was just clumps of hair. I love them. They're great dogs. They're beautiful dogs, but they shed so much.
Horrible. And I live in the cold, so she sheds hard, you know.
So she's probably getting her summer coat in now, I'm assuming.
Well, she's losing her winter coat. So, we actually have a duplex. So we live downstairs.
Okay.
But we used to live up here. And when we lived up here, I mean, literally right now it still exists, but I have to go around with the vacuum around all the edges because that's where it ends up getting moved to. But there's like tumbleweed everywhere.
So is like upstairs like just your like office and printer area and stuff?
As of right now, yeah. I mean, it's a full function 3-bedroom house.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've got this one big room that's just, I got my own bathroom. She's got downstairs. I come up here and I shower and shave and everything, and don't have to be in her way when she's doing her makeup. And
yeah, I have. I'm kind of glad. So my I don't know if many people know this, but TH3D is run out of my house, and we have it's a 1,500 square foot condo, so it's not tiny, but it's not huge. This room is what should have been the second bedroom. That's my office, and my wife, her office is in what would be our living room. So, yeah, It can get a little cramped here. I think we've got like 20 grand worth of inventory stored here too. Like, I've got boxes, and we just got a sensor shipment in, so I've got I literally have 1,000 sensors sitting in my living room right now.
And where are you about?
What's that?
What state are you in?
We're in Illinois.
Okay.
So we're south of Chicago. We're like 35 minutes south of Chicago. So we're in the suburbs. Ideally, I'd like to get a shop, you know, on like get a house that has land that then has where we can build a shop out in the back. You know what I mean? Because I eventually want to put up like a pole barn with like a concrete floor.
Okay.
Build out like an office in there, like, you know, that has AC and everything. Like a fourth of that be the office, and then the rest be like just have all the printers out in the rest of the area. Just have it heated, you know, for the winter for the machines. You know, in the summer, if it gets a little warm, who cares? Yeah, we also want to get out of Illinois because taxes are killing us, like every which way, like sales tax, property tax, income tax. Like, we're just taxed to death. Like, if they could tax the air here, they would. Like,
see, my thought would be a motorhome with a big trailer hauling all my 3D printers, and I could be the mobile 3D printer.
I've got, how many machines are you up to at this point? Because your office is looking a little full there.
6.
Okay. Yeah, we've got
7 with the Piper.
I'm trying to think. So I can fit 6 per rack. I got 2 racks. So there's no printer up there. So I got 12, 13, 14. There's a D6, so 15. The JG, 16. I got a CR10S that's brand new sitting in the living room that I'm probably going to end up selling because I don't have room for it. There's an ANET A8 and my i3. So we got almost 20 machines crammed in here right now.
Oh, wow.
It's bad. I had more, but we shipped out. I bought 3 Ender 3s. I bought one on Amazon to get it here quickly, so I do a review on it. That one I gave, since I already did the ABL on it. I did the filament sensor. I built it. I gave it to one of my buddies that helps me because he does like he's trying to get into doing like wedding centerpieces. Okay. So. And he's got connections in there, so he's got a Tronxy X3S, which is another review one that I did. That printer's a pain. Don't buy it. I took the review down because I didn't want people buying it. GearBest said that to me, but we ultimately ended up having to completely replace the we had to replace the X gantry metal pieces, like the actual things that bolt the wheels on. I can't remember the name of them, but the brackets. We had to replace those with CR10 ones because the stock ones were so wobbly and not spread apart so they could get like a good triangle, you know, to actually hold on to the extrusion. They were too narrow, so it just, you know, wobbled back and forth. But that one's working now, but he needed another machine, so I gave him that one. I shipped my 1 Ender 3 out to Tor in California. He's been running that thing like I'm pretty sure he's been running since he built it. So, and he's been having good luck with that. And then the other Ender 3 I gave to my brother. So I bought 3 of them and I gave them away because I'm like sitting here going, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get rid of a larger machine to make room for this smaller machine. It doesn't make sense to keep it. They're great little printers though. I really like them.
Yeah.
So, and with my brother and Tor and my friend, they all have them. If I need to do any testing on those machines, I can be like, hey, I'm going to send you out some parts. Let me know how these work on it, you know, or if I need to do a firmware change, you know, try it out and let me know. I don't need to have it here for development purposes now that I did all the main work on it already. So, yeah, to Blaisby 3DRC is Tor in the chat. He's like, I'm about to start another print. He just finished one. So, 3D printing trucker, he's his name's Bill, I believe.
Okay.
And it begins with a B. He's on my Facebook friends. I'm pretty sure it's Bill. Hang on. Bill, yeah, Bill. And he's got an Ender 2 in his semi. And he prints on the road.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome. Like, I wonder if we can like have Cura add some settings in to compensate for car motion.
I'm just wondering if the air ride keeps it from, messing up.
I mean, theoretically, if your machine is not having a ton of play, it should be fine. I mean, I've seen people print with printers upside down, and it works.
Yeah. I saw a guy at Murph walk around all day. It wasn't the greatest quality, but
Oh, that little Delta, yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
Mitch is awesome, though. He was so cool.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool, but why? I was like, okay, I got it, I guess. Whatever floats your boat, right?
Hey, everybody's got to have their, 15 minutes of fame or claim to fame or however you want to look at it. He ain't no sexy cyborg, but,
Yeah, she was walking around. She was walking around with, I think she had a Castle, wasn't it? Or the BIQU? I think it was a BIQU.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I finally got, so this whole process with getting these damn CR10 boards, like, I don't know if you saw the ones that, because your CR10S doesn't have the E1 stepper driver installed, and I actually got these in, see it actually has the E1 stepper on there.
Okay.
This took me like 2 months to actually get them to make these and try to communicate with them and try to get them to understand what I was asking them. They're like, I was like, well, I know I need the driver installed. They're like, well, the plug, they were like pointing to the plug. I was like, no, that doesn't work without the driver. I need the driver. And then, yeah, finally they made me one, and this cost me about $80 to get it here. And, I got it just to make sure it all works and everything. So it does. I got firmware loaded on here. All the axes moved. Both E-motors move. So, that's good. So they don't have to make any changes to the board. They literally just got to pop that driver on. But yeah, it took me, dealing with like some of these Chinese suppliers is just like painful because of the language barrier. I actually have better luck, I've noticed, using Google Translate to translate what they're telling me, and then me translate back to Chinese and copy and paste it, and back and forth. Yeah, it's
I recently had that happen.
But they're coming now.
Nice. Yeah, I had to do that recently with my Delta firmware video that I made. That suddenly, I got a lot of comments on that, and suddenly this guy started chatting to me in a different language, and I'm like, all right. So I was copying and pasting and translating it, and then just speaking back in English. And finally, I said, "Do you speak English?" And he goes, "Okay, no more Google Translate."
It's like, oh, you could have been talking to me in English this entire time.
Exactly. Just like one of those, scenes you see in a movie,
I know, right? Yeah, I had, so funny thing is I think he's like one of the board members or something. He's one of the higher ups at Creality. Because I asked Chris at Tiny Machines, I was like, who is this person? They're saying they're working with Creality. He's like, oh, he's like one of the 4, heads over there. I was like, oh, because when I made the post in the CR10 group about them, knocking off the design of the bed leveling kits, he wanted to start talking to me about it. But I had to do the Chinese thing, and it was just like, I felt like everything wasn't coming across fully.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of lost in translation. I'm trying to find a screwdriver right now because I was going to hook this thing back up, but I can't find it, so I'm going to give up on that. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, Mike Metters, are you redoing your CR10S firmware since the source code got released? Once Marlin 119 is stable, because it's still bug fixed right now, then I will be updating. But until then, the current one is the current version. Because there's a lot of bugs right now, and the new Marlin My current firmware on the site right now, the Unified, is built on 118 with some bug fixes integrated in. So it's really stable, but it doesn't have like the power resume. And the one thing I found out, I started merging in the bug fix into mine, and it compiles. But the problem is on the boards like the 1284p, which are like the CR10, the Ender 2, the Ender 3. The new Marlin code is 2,000, almost 2,000 to 3,000K more than the.
So it doesn't write to the board.
It doesn't, and that's not even with the power resume feature turned on. It's just 2 to 3,000K bigger, so it doesn't fit. I mean, we were at 97% utilization on memory on the current one. And that's a program memory, not the RAM. That's the actual program memory. So that's fine if you max that out.
So let me ask you, do you enable SD support?
Yes, that's with SD support enabled. So like right now,
that takes up a huge amount of memory.
Right. So right now on the stock firmware, both boards, the CR10 and the CR10S, have the same features, even with bed leveling on, filament sensor, all that stuff. And I was able to slim it down enough, but the, I compiled the new one, and I got to talk with Scott more from Marlin to find out what did they change to make it grow that much? Because that's a significant jump, from the old build to the new one. And for the 2560 boards, like the CR10S, some of the Wanhao boards, the AlphaWise U10, they got the 2560 mega chip on there, and it doesn't matter. They have enough memory. You can cram it. They still got space to spare. So, I'm wondering why it is so big. I gotta do a comparison between the two now that I have it merged into mine. Because it compiles. It's just too big to actually upload to the board. So, but we've been going on this stream for almost 2 hours now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's almost 10 because we started just after 8, just a few minutes past 8.
Nice.
So, do you got anything else you want to add? Because I'm pretty good right now.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty tired myself.
Yeah, go take a nap.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, I think. I normally stay up, until I can't keep my eyes open anymore, and I have to go to bed.
Yeah,
because I
know the feeling.
Goes off at 6:30 in the morning, so they're saying don't give up now.
Well,
Bob is actually the guy that I was printing all those parts for.
Who is?
Bob Young, the one that's in chat.
Oh, okay. I know Bob. He's actually one of my customers.
Nice. Yeah, he was the one I printed all the parts for, and gotta get them mailed out. But
one other thing I did want to cover, because we kind of try to have like a little discussion here and talk about news. I don't know how closely you follow like GearBest's new printer releases. I'm trying to pull them up here. Let's see, shop by department, because I always check their new stuff, and some of the printers are really bad, some of the new ones. But they have some, if you look on there, they've got one called the KR10-S. It's by a company called Createit with a K, Kreateit. And it's literally a straight CR10 knockoff. But it's got the same style control box that the company Thorbot uses, except it's black. And it looks like they have a direct drive extruder on it and a laser. So I'm kind of interested to know if it's gonna be good or bad. Because from the pictures I can't really tell. I also gotta figure out why my webcam keeps going like crazy every now and then. Oh. It's like I'm getting some sort of interference. I think it might actually be my AC unit causing some EMI, because every time it turns on and off, it does it. I think that might be it.
That was
Um,
another idea that I got going on in the back of my mind, in what's going on inside the mind of Matt. Those through the jobs and going to these drone things that I've been going to. There's actually the one drone that race that I went to. I spent the entire time talking to another dude about 3D printing.
really?
So,
Oh yeah,
but
there's a
there's a
huge
guy,
overlap with drones and 3D printing.
huge, huge.
Yeah.
So there's a couple. One dude that is one of the carpenters on the job site that I'm on right now. He has a CR10, but he also has a shop bot. So I was thinking about, just like inside the Mind of Matt tours, other maker spaces, kind of thing like that, and kind of highlight what other people are doing in their stuff and what they do with 3D
Yeah.
printing. The other dude's got a laser cutter and etcher, and he's a small little. They do more of the FPV, drone videos and stuff like that versus the 3D printing
3D
stuff.
printing stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but they
mean,
have
I've got
3D printing,
I've got a
so
laser cutter here too, but it hasn't been. I've had it for about 6 months. It has not been powered up yet. It's in my storage unit because I bought one of those K40s. I bought one of those K40s for like $200 on Amazon. I had a discount code, and I was like, I can't pass it up for that price because they're selling for like 400 to 500 everywhere else. I was like, I'll buy it now and then eventually get to it. And I even got a Cohesion 3D board. They were actually at Murph too. He does like drop-in replacement boards that are SmoothieWare based for the
okay.
laser cutters. And I bought one of those from him at New York Maker Faire. Then I also backed a Kickstarter for a gerbil type board. So I've got 2 different control boards for it. I still haven't even turned the damn thing on.
Wow.
So
So have you messed with Smoothie firmware at all?
that's what my Delta's running on. And
Okay.
it works. It was being someone who like 90+% of my other machines run Marlin, and I really like Marlin. It was kind of rough to get it going because some of the stuff they make, like to invert a pin, you have to put like an exclamation point, or there's something else with like the little like caret character, and so you got to go back and look at it. It's not like true false or invert. Just a lot of weird programming choices in terms of how you configure stuff. So if you're working with Marlin, that's where you're used to, or even Repetier, there's a learning curve is where I'm going with it.
Right.
And just stupid choices like they don't like the kind of probes that I use and sell.
Okay.
They don't have support for those on SmoothieWare because I guess from what I understood is like the developers who made SmoothieWare don't like them, so they just didn't add them in. And if you post any question about them in the forums, you're basically told go do a servo with a micro switch or buy a BL Touch, and it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of off-putting. So I'm gonna have to play with compiling Marlin 2.0 because it will run on the Smoothie board I'm using. I'm using the MKS S base. So if I can get that over to Marlin, that'd be great. So
now how about, have you ever heard of Kipper?
Klipper. Yeah, Klipper.
Okay.
I've heard of it. I have not played with it. From what I understand is you use a Pi for all the processing and then interfaces over USB with a Arduino board to handle the stepper control. And I guess you could say they're clipping along at a pretty quick rate over there on development. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea. I think, you see these videos with them printing at like super high speeds. I think what's going to happen is you're going to end up hitting material limits with that. Like you can only melt plastic so fast, and you can only physically print so fast before you start getting poor layer adhesion,
Right.
and, I think it's a cool project. I think right now, especially with Cartesian machines, you're not really going to max out your 8-bit boards. They're kind of tried and true. They're reliable. They're cheap. It's cool that they're doing it, but right now the materials and I think just physics in general are not going to allow you to print much faster while still maintaining layer adhesion. I mean, like, I printed this little bracket on my CR10S at 80, and like this is ABS. You know, this is only like 35, I think 40% infill, but I can't even break. I'm not gonna try breaking this because last time I did, I cracked my monitor when the piece went flying. That's
You
how my
said
monitor
80
died. I was
millimeters
hitting
per
it.
second?
What's that?
You said 80 millimeters per second?
Yeah, that's typically what I print at is 80.
Really?
Yeah, and that was
What's
at a
your
0.3 layer height.
And what's your acceleration set at?
Whatever I ship as default with my machine. Hang on.
Because I'm printing it like
1,000 on X and Y, 5,000 on the extruder, and then printing moves are 500 by default. Retract is 100. Travels 500. So max is 1,000. So and that's the CR10 Mini. The CR10 can kind of move at those kind of same speeds. They're pretty similar machines. I like the Mini a lot actually. I kind of didn't really see its value, and GearBest just randomly sent me one. But the bed heats up really fast because it's slightly smaller, but it's still got the same amount of wattage as the stock one. So like I can hit, I can hit 100 on it in like 6 minutes. I got insulation on there, and I upgraded the wiring to 12 gauge silicone. So, but the stock bed is if you don't need the build volume of CR10, the Mini is a great little machine. Doesn't take up as much space either. But yeah, also like what Neri said, he's like, you'll never hit 80 millimeters a second on a part like that. It'll only hit that on the straightaways where it's doing, the sides. And then the infill, it does pretty quick. But yeah.
If I set my slicer that high, my print quality is so bad.
Because it did that part, it took to do that little part. I'm looking at my print history here. It did that in 52 minutes. So it took less than an hour to print that part.
Let me check.
What's on your CR10 there?
That's just the parts for my OpenRC.
Okay.
It's just right now it's a flat surface. I suffer from flat surface syndrome. If there's a flat surface, I'm going to put something on it. If what I put on that flat surface happens to be flat, it becomes another flat surface.
Oh, Scott's actually in the chat from Marlin. So he said he's going to make sure to compare sizes between 118 and 119 before the release or reduce it as much as possible. Yeah, because the thing was, he was actually teasing me. He's like, oh, we got the LCD code down a little bit to save some space. And I went to compile it. I was like, this is bigger.
Got the window open. There's a dog barking.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Yeah. But if I can hear that, then they can hear me talking loud to the computer. So
Roger George is asking thoughts on the TiVo Michelangelo, and Neri said, excellent once you remove the bearing. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't have a Michelangelo. TiVo Quinman Tan, who's like, I guess he's the owner of TiVo, he messages me randomly on Skype, and he asked me if I wanted to check out the Michelangelo. I said, sure. But I don't know if he actually sent it, so I guess I'll find out if a printer randomly shows up at my door. It looks decent, like design-wise. So it's a nice little printer. It's like kind of Ender 2-esque.
nice.
But I haven't used one personally.
Yeah, GearBest sent me the Casso, and I don't think I sold one printer through my affiliate link at all. So
the Casso was my first printer that I got from them. And if you look on my channel, that video should actually still be up there. I'm checking right now to see here. Let's see, that would have been a while back.
For the chatters that are talking about the Piper, that if you go and watch the video, there's also I think I got to put it in the description, but somewhere in one of the comments, I posted up a link. Actually, no, I pinned a comment that I started a Facebook group for the Piper. So if anybody out there is, planning on it, then go on over there and join up. And it's just about the Piper, like one of these other groups. So there's only three of us. I think there's three of us. And one of
Is
them
that going to be the next big printer? CR10 killer?
I don't know. I mean, building the kit, you've put one together. They're fun.
Yeah, I'm looking back here. I did like a time lapse build of the console. I posted that back on June. I mean, I haven't really had it printed great out of the box. It wasn't until I started screwing with it that I had problems. It's always how it goes, though.
Well, you know what happened to me is as soon as Simplify 3D went to 4.0, I've had zits that I can't get rid of on any machine except for my direct drives. My direct drives, I get, and I've got 8mm retraction.
I would recommend. Do you have like any Capricorn, or like did you get any of the tough tubing yet? Because that'll help reduce the retraction rate a lot. I put the tough tube I sell, which is like Capricorn, on mine, and I had to lower my retraction because it was pulling too much.
Well, see, I've got the Capricorn from Murph, but the one thing that I haven't done with that though that I'm thinking I might try, because I'll tell you, since I put that on, that the Protopasta Candy Apple Red was clogging on me. It would kept jamming on me, and I put a little bit of canola oil like you suggested, and
yes,
and that thing is it's
like a treat.
One jam. So guys, listen, all right, if you're printing with an E3D and it's an all metal, all right, let me grab one. Hang on.
Yeah, basically, if you're printing PLA, and here's the reason why, and I'm not a scientist, but my reasoning is PLA. I don't know if you guys know this, is a starch-based plastic. It's food essentially. Yeah. So what Matt's showing up here is an oiler. So you basically put just a little wad of something in there, like a sponge or a towel or something to hold the oil, and you put
canola.
You put canola oil in there. And what that does is, it's like, think about when you're cooking. You put oil in the pan to keep the food from sticking. It's the same idea. So you put a little light coating of oil on the filament, which then coats the heat break, which prevents on a retract the filament sticking to it. ABS doesn't do it. PETG doesn't do it because they're plastics. PLA, while technically a plastic, it's food-based. It's starch-based plastic. That's why it's biodegradable. So, yeah, that was a little trick. I can't even remember where I picked it up from. I've heard it a couple other places, but like, there's a brand I don't print with anymore, Maker Geeks, because like their filament's been so hit and miss, and their customer service is garbage. I just stopped buying for them. But they were one of the brands that almost guaranteed if I didn't oil their PLA, bam, I got a jam. Even if I had a retract of like 1mm, it would jam. It's it's one of these little things, and you could do like, I got titanium heat breaks for the V6s out. We sell those on the site. I use them on most of my machines. I haven't gone back and like, as soon as I started stocking, I haven't gone back and like pulled all my steel ones out. It's kind of if I'm building a new machine or I'm working on one, I'll put the titanium in because it's got a lower heat transfer, so it reduces heat creep. So, but either way, yeah, oil your PLA. If you're getting jams and stuff, before you pull your hair out, just get an oiler. It's not going to hurt it if you don't need it. There's been some people that are like, oh, it affects layer adhesion. I personally have not had a single issue with layer adhesion when using an oiler. I'm sure your mileage may vary based on the filament brand, your printer setup, etc., etc. But if you're getting jams, try it out. It's a great little hack. It's cheap. I bought a bottle about this size a year ago from Amazon for $10. I still have it. I barely used any of it. So, you know, if you want to get really lazy and don't print out an oiler, just dip a couple inches of the filament in before you feed it in. It'll lube your Bowden tube, and it'll still do the same thing. Just make sure, you know, after you go about half the roll, then, you know, go ahead and just take it out, dip it again if you don't want to use an actual oiler. I got oilers floating around here everywhere. If you go through like a box of random stuff, there's oilers. Mark Sauce is asking, inland with jams. I have not had a jam with inland. And there's a difference between a jam and a clog. A jam is when you jam, it jams in the heat break. Your nozzle's not clogged up. What happens is you got hot plastic, you pulled it back, it's stuck to the heat break, and now your motor can't push it back through.
Hey, can you approve that message, my text message?
I'm not seeing anything.
Nightbot got it.
Nightbot got it.
Well, I'm trying to put a link. See if I can do it this way.
Hang on, let me see. Let me check automatically. I unchecked block spam messages. Hang on. Yeah, so basically a jam is when you got a jam in the heat break, meaning you pulled it back too far. For some reason it's stuck. Now you can't, you know, push it back through. A clog is when you have something blocking your nozzle. I just changed the spam settings, so see if you guys can post links. I'm still new to YouTube in terms of using it in this capacity. But yeah, so a clog is when you got something blocking the nozzle, the filament can't get out. A jam is when it's not the nozzle that's blocking it, if that makes sense. That's a jam. And it typically occurs in your heat break. And it could be a million different things. It could be either you have heat creep and the filament bulged up in the heat break because it's not cool enough, or it could be you retracted too far and you need an oiler and your filament is just sticking to it. Now, one of the advantages of a PTFE line heat break, one of the few advantages, is that you typically don't get jams with it because the PTFE is not going to stick to the filament.
Right.
So, and actually one thing I've been playing around with is I actually have for V6 hot ends, I have pass-through heat breaks where it's a heat break that allows the PTFE to go into the melt zone. So your actual Bowden tube can go into the melt zone. So, and I've been pairing that up with the high temp tubing I sell, the Tough Tube. So basically, you can go up to like 275, even a little bit higher than that. PTFE in general has an upper limit of 300C. I've personally tested to make sure the tubing holds up to 300C, but if you look on the site, there's like a link about basically like safety precautions, because once you start pushing PTFE past 275C, it can do what's called off-gassing, which has... it's basically particles that can irritate your lungs and stuff. So basically, if you're going past 275C, you want to have it in a well-ventilated area. It will off-gas, but it's not going to be harmful to humans. But you don't want to be running it near, like, pets and stuff. But if you have a PTFE like that in the heat break, in the melt zone, you don't really have to worry about jams because it's not going to stick to it. So that's why, like, the tubing, like we sell a Tough Tube, Capricorn, that's why those become so popular, is because you just swap it out and you can print higher temps, you know? You know, most people, it's just a hair above what the upper limits of the stock tubing is, because your stock tubing is going to start breaking down around 240, and you replace it with this stuff, it takes you like 5 minutes. You pull your stock one out, cut the new tubing the same length, put it in, and you go, and you can, boom, you can print the 275C with no issues, you know, all day. So
when I had problems with my CR10 hot end, and I tore it all apart, and like this much of the PTF tubing that was at the bottom was black.
Yep, because it was breaking down, and then that'll clog your nozzle as it breaks off. And then
it hasn't printed right since, so
yeah, and then that'll cause what I was talking about, off-gassing. So you were releasing harmful particles from that PTFE without even knowing it. So it's just something to be careful. Capricorn has a disclaimer on their site too about using it. You can use it. Basically, it's really simple. You can use it. Just make sure you have good ventilation and nothing, you know, don't do it around pets. So like my pets stay out of my office. You know, I don't have too many printers where it's in the melt zone. I just have, I I have it on my Tornado. That's the only one that's where it's in the melt zone. I have it on my other printers that's not in the melt zone, and I have it on those because I like the tighter tolerances. So there's two benefits of that tubing. One, higher temp resistance, and two, your inside diameter is tighter, so you don't have to use as much retread. You get more accurate extrusion. So, you know, it's kind of a two-in-one thing. It's like, what do you want to do? You want to print higher temps? Okay. Well, you want, you know, less play inside your tubing? Okay, it does both of those things. There's no... If you go to all metal, you don't have to worry about off-gassing and everything. So if you're on all metal, you don't have to worry about the PTFE off-gassing. But you have to worry about your material off-gassing, especially ABS. I actually have to print. I'm going to be putting a HEPA filter just to recirculate the air inside the second enclosure I built to cut down on the ABS fumes. My other enclosure has one in it right now, and that runs when the printer's on. So it just cuts down on that. I also have one in the room too. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff. People try to make it like it's this huge deal, like you're going to die if you print in the same room. Just have air circulating and, you know, put some filters in. Like, it's not, you know, it's not going to kill you. People like to blow it out of proportion. If you're really sensitive, you might see an ill effect, but like I don't have that many allergies or stuff. I'm pretty resilient to all that stuff. I haven't noticed anything. I mean, I got my resin printer in here. I'm going to have like cancer in 10 years. Again, I got 2 ABS machines going and a resin printer. I'm probably going to die of like some sort of 3D printer poisoning. So
Bob's saying that you guys are above his pay grade, so he's just going to talk to me because I put it in layman's terms. You take your tubing thing and you stick it in there, the whole thing, and then you press the go button, and then it goes.
Yeah, and it doesn't not go as often because it's not breaking down. So, and I think like I had a guy that was requesting the MSDS sheets for the tubing, which I don't have because our manufacturer doesn't supply it, and it's not a chemical, so we're not legally required to have it. But I started doing some research as to what they could be possibly adding, because I know it's really high quality PTFE, and high quality PTFE has better temp resistance than the cheap stuff, which is, you know, thinned out with other stuff to make it cheaper. Right. But I came across this stuff called molybdenum, which has a blue color. Okay, because my tubing has a blue color, Capricorn has a blue color, and that added to PTFE gives it slower friction and more stability at higher temps. So I'm pretty convinced that that's what the tubing I sell, my manufacturer, is adding to it, and I'm pretty sure that's what Capricorn is doing as well. So just kind of a cool little fact. I stumbled across that. I'm like reading it. I was like, huh, blue color. It's makes it smoother and higher temp resistance. That exactly matches all the properties of this tubing, you know? So I thought that was cool. Maybe I'm not a chemist or, you know, a materials expert, so maybe someone knows more about it, but it makes sense to me that they'd be adding it because it can be mixed with PTFE. Right. So yeah, just kind of a cool little factoid.
Cool. I actually worked in a PVC extrusion plant.
Really?
I was the plant electrician, and they would make everything from 1/2-inch PVC that, you know, is used for electrical, all the way up to 24-inch drain line that was used to underground stuff. It was crazy. Hot.
My cam will be back in a second. I'm moving it to another port to see if it gets rid of that flickering because it's bothering me.
I can still see you.
Well, yeah, you're looking at a different camera. My stream, it probably shows that it's locked up. Let's see here. We'll see. I moved it to another. I have a USB 3.0 card in this computer that has 4 separate controllers in it because I was maxing out. I was maxing out the amount of USB devices per controller I could have. I had to buy this like $80 card, and then I got basically one port. It's got 4 ports. Each port has its own controller. So we'll see if this works better. So if I don't get any flickering.
Thanks.
But yeah, see that we were like ready to wrap up the stream, and then we went off on another tangent.
Yeah,
it's like the story of my life.
That's what happens. That was the nice thing about being at Murph, is, you know, I was literally surrounded by people that we could just talk about this stuff nonstop and not try to get away from the conversation, you know. I start talking about 3D printing at work, and everybody's like, "Yeah, okay, I gotta go back to over here. Yeah, see ya, thanks, bye."
Yeah, some people they're like gonna want to burn you at the stake because it might be witchcraft.
Yes.
So let me ask you this: do you still sit there and watch your printers print?
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's never gonna end because even like, especially when I build a new printer, I'm always just like staring at it, just like, look at it going. It's printing.
I just it still just blows my mind, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, I'm getting into more designing my own stuff, you know, parts and stuff. So even it's just like, you know, like I'm on my microphone stand here. I needed like something to hold the wires, so I went into Fusion, and I made a little clip that holds the wire on. You know,
Nice.
and it works great. I printed off. It was like a 5-minute print. I was like, I didn't have to go buy something, you know. But yeah, it's just cool little stuff like that. I'm trying to think of the last thing. Oh, the last thing I printed that wasn't a part was I printed this little piece that it says #1 cat lady, and it had 2 little cats on the top, and I gave it to my mom because she's a cat lady and she thought that was cool. I did it with like a 0.1 layer height. So it came out really nice. And then I also did a lithophane for my when my wife was working for Exelon still, I did a lithophane for one of her coworkers. And that came out really cool. So let's see. Chat. Earth, Murph. Yeah, Murph needs more organization.
Octopi via the GPIO pins.
Do you power I do not use the PP2 and PP5 pads. I do GPIO or the micro USB input. I have a mixture of both. Some of them have the GPIO, some of them have the USB. The Mini I just hooked up today, I'm powering with a USB adapter. I found these awesome adapters. I got to take pictures of them and put them on the shop, but they're 3-amp USB adapters, micro USB adapters with a power switch.
Oh no, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm using one of those on there because I will eventually wire it to power off the printers. Well, no, I'm not going to wire that off to power off the printer's plus. I'm going to keep using that one, but I'm going to wire my 5-volt LEDs with a step-down adapter. But I also got, I don't have one handy, but I got these boards that are about, I want to say they're about 3 inches long, but they got 2 USB ports on them, and they'll take an input of 6 to 60 volts and step it down to 5 volts, 3 amps. So I'm going to be designing a case for them that could bolt to the CR10 and just a general case. So basically, once we start selling the Pi kits, you don't even have to have a separate power adapter for it. You can just run it off your printer power supply.
Well, I talked about it. Let me find it real quick. I haven't even taken it out of its package because I've been waiting, and the guy's been emailing me, kind of checking up on me. But I'm gonna open this up.
Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, I found this out today. The new Pi 3 Plus, which is right here. This is the Pi. I know exactly what that is, Matt, because I have 2 of them here.
No, you don't.
Want to bet? Do you want to bet? Don't put it up to the camera. It's ATX Pi Hat. I have 2 of them.
An ATX?
ATX Pi Hat.
Where'd you get it from?
I bought him from him at Murph. He wants us to sell him.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
This is one of his prototypes. He gave it to me to. This is going on the Piper.
Guess what? I'm gonna be doing a live stream of setting one of those up in a couple days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the viewers, though, this is a Pi Hat, and it's got a GPIO pin.
I'm trying to find mine. I'll be right back.
It's also, okay. And then it's also got an ATX power supply connection. So you plug this into your Pi, and you plug your ATX, and it powers your Pi, and it's got terminals for your 3D printer. It's also got a RGB output, a fan output so that you can cool it.
Yeah, and Matt.
Yes, that's.
I haven't even opened it yet.
After all. That's funny.
Here. Bam.
We need a
There we go.
screenshot of that. Hang on. Let me.
Hang on, I'll take one. Put it up. I'll take one right now.
Okay.
Oh, got it.
Here, let's do it with one more with our faces. I want to send it to Brian.
All right.
Awesome.
I'll send those to you. I just took a screenshot on my OBS. Yeah, I mean, I really think it's a cool idea. And just so you guys know, since I have a Pi sitting here, you literally just take it. So you got the row of pins here. You got the pin, your GPIO pins, and it just goes right on there. Just push it on like that. Line them up, and then bam. There you go. So you can power your printer from here. You got your 12 volt, your 5 volt, and then yeah. So I manually do all this stuff on my own, but as you guys know, like my company TH3D, our thing is kind of making stuff easy, and so I think a product like this would be good to carry because this is something that I wouldn't have the time to design. Brian's already done it. He's got a plugin for it too, doesn't he? He's got a plugin for it, right?
Yeah, it's something that you gotta. But there's somebody in chat. It's a reasonable being. He's saying, "Shh, you're the only guys I'm giving this to."
Oh, is that him?
I don't know. Brian, is that you?
No, I don't think that's Brian.
Did we missed something in chat?
I was just about to say, did we miss something in chat? Let me scroll back up. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool little board. Now, me personally, I told him this. I think this is cool for a basic printer. Now,
well, he was gearing it towards the ANET people.
Right, and that'd be fine. My thing is, like, I would like to see more power coming off this because basically he's got a shunt on here to measure the amperage that's being pulled, which is awesome because I like stats and stuff. So, you know, being able to see how much amperage is being pulled by the printer is awesome. But if you need more than, I think he said this is limited to like, what, 20 amps, I think he said? Yeah. Is what it'll put out. I think it's 20, it's either 15 or 20. Yeah, this is Brian's card right here. So, but I have, for example, I've got a machine here, my S4 has a bed that pulls 40 amps on the 12 volt. I can't run that through here. So what I could do is use it still to control it, but I'd have to break out the other ATX power connections. So
or use a external and just make a separate.
No, I've got a brand new. It's here.
Because I really want to go with 120 volt bed.
This is what is going in my S4. It is okay. 750 watt. It's 62 amps on the 12 volt reel.
Okay.
So this will do. I don't want to change the bed, and I already have it. I actually have two of the S4 beds. I was testing them out for tiny machines, and we found they just pull too much power for the average person to be able to install them on their printer. They'd have to run a separate 50 amp 12 volt power supply just for the bed. And by the time you factor in the cost of the power supply, the wiring, the bed itself, you'd be better off just getting the silicone heater. So, but he said to me to test, so I've got one on my machine that was the first version. I've got another one. I got another one sitting right here. So this is a 400 watt. You can see how thick these traces are here for the heating elements.
Yeah.
This sucker gets.
Voltage on that?
This is 12.
Okay.
This sucker will hit 100C in like 3 minutes.
Wow. So, once again, me not printing a lot of ABS, even with PETG, my bed's at 50C.
PETG, if I'm using my bed mats that I sell, I run at 70. If I run glass or the Marmarbot build plates, I run 80. PLA 50 with the mat, 60 without. ABS, I only print on the mats for ABS. I run those at 100. And just so you guys know, the reason where people come up with the temperatures of the bed temps is based on the plastic's glass transition temperature. So PLA's glass transition temperature, which means the temperature at which the material starts to get soft at, is 60 Celsius. That's why you have your bed temp at 60 Celsius. So it stays kind of soft, so it sticks. PETG is the same thing. Glass transition temp is 80 C. So that's why you print PETG at 80 C. Same thing with ABS. 100 to 110 is its glass transition temp. So the reason you want that is, like I said, so it stays kind of malleable to stick to the bed. It's not going to harden and pull up. So it's like with PLA, small parts with a bed mat, you can get away with no heat. But you do a big print, even on a bed mat, it's going to start curling up because that's much more surface area to shrink. So it's going to lift more, which is why you need a heated bed for bigger PLA parts.
Do you follow CNC Kitchen at all?
I think he's foreign. I don't know what he is. He's German
like
or something.
Swedish or something like that. Yeah.
Somewhere not in the US. I'm going to be an ignorant American here. Just somewhere not in the US.
He put out a video. It was a minute and 20 seconds, but it was one of the most moments. Okay. And he took a piece of tape and he stretched it out.
Oh yeah. Let me show that. Hang on. While you're talking, I'm going to pull that up. So
yeah. And basically what you're trying to prevent is the layers above it from pulling the first layer off of the bed. So if your layers are kind of, not getting hard, they're still at the glass transition point, then your top layers aren't pulling your bottom layers, and then that's where work comes from.
So here, I've got it over your head here. So we're gonna play this. I'm gonna have the audio come through too. So let me just adjust the levels. You guys can see here. This is kind of I'm gonna actually make this smaller because I don't want to get a strike. So we got a kind of commentary over the video because I don't know if I'll get copyright striked or not. But basically this will explain it here.
Especially when working with higher temperature plastics, warping can become an issue.
So basically
warping
he's just showing prints, you guys have seen it
with a simple
warping.
experiment.
So he's basically going to show here,
over 200
around.
A piece of tape represents a layer that is printed. Here. I simulate the material shrinkage by pre-stretching it and then sticking it to the table. Every subsequent layer will now pull on the lower layers.
And if you worked with electrical tape,
at some point the connection to the table is not good enough anymore, and our simulated 3D printed part releases from the table and warps. There you have it. This is why 3D prints warp.
So that's basically why you're getting warping, is because you're printing in an ABS. If you guys have never printed with ABS, ABS is a huge pain to print with because it shrinks about 5%. Okay. To give you an idea, PLA is like 1% or less. So as you're printing, and this is why you need an enclosure, because I see people trying to print ABS all the time. Why am I getting delamination of my layers? Why is it curling up? Because you need an enclosure. This is why you need an enclosure for ABS and other materials that are high temperatures, because basically the higher temperature you have at your print temp, there's a bigger coefficient difference between the print temperature and your ambient temperature. So to combat that, you put in an enclosure and it lowers that gap, which means less shrinkage at that temperature. So as you're printing ABS, you put a layer down, it's cooling. You're printing at 245, 250 C. It's cooling. Next layer goes on it. So you're printing on top of a layer that's cooling. So, and then what happens is, like in the video, it curls up. Now, even if let's say you got a really good bed mat and it'll stick it down, what's going to happen is it's still going to shrink enough and your layers are going to start popping apart. So, you can do stuff with, like Reasonable Being was saying, you can use large skirts. But you could do that with short prints. I guarantee, even if you have a skirt, if you do a print past like 100 millimeters in ABS and you don't have an enclosure, your layers are going to start separating. I would put money on it because I've never been able to do it. And you see pictures all the time because ABS has to be in an enclosure. That's just how it is. To get the best print quality, you have to have an enclosure. Like all of our customer parts that we do a ton of ABS prints. I print probably 4 kilograms, and that was with one machine. We have 2 up and running now. I print about 4 kilograms a week of ABS, and I print them in an enclosure because that gets the best quality print. If I were running them outside of them, they look like garbage. I'm not going to send them out to customers looking like that because the layers are all weird because they're contracting and cooling. You need an enclosure. So, and I'm going to plug my little product here. We teamed up with Printed Solid. If you look over here on the video, that's one of the enclosures. I actually insulated because if you can see, my air conditioner is right there. So I was getting some drafts because the air was essentially blowing into my enclosure. So I basically sealed up the enclosure. But if you don't have anything near it, near a window or anything, you'll be fine with its stock. But they're only $195. They ship flat. It'll take you about an hour to put them together. Me personally, I've built my own enclosures, and as a consumer, not as someone who's selling this product, me personally paying just shy of $200 for an enclosure that then I can slap some insulation on if I really want to insulate it. That saved me time because I think I spent like 7 or 8 hours building an enclosure for my AM8. This one I got maybe 2 hours into. An hour to build it, and I put some foam and foil-backed self-adhering insulation. It's for ducts, like cooling ducts in your house. I picked up a roll of it for $20 from Home Depot and covered the whole inside. And that ambient temperature right now is 47 degrees Celsius, which is great for ABS. You want to be between 40 to 50 C for ABS. So I really like them. That's why I'm selling them. Like my whole thing, I don't know if everybody knows, I don't sell stuff that I don't personally use. So if I'm not using something, it's not in the store. That's just how I do business. I think it's a good way to do it because then no one can be like, if it's no one can be like, well, how do you know it works? Well, because I use it. Or if I need to do support on something, like I know what the caveats with stuff are, and if there's issues, I can tell them, okay, well, this is how I use mine, or if there's an issue, I probably have encountered it. So if that makes sense. But absolutely. I really like them. It's working good. It allowed me to get another ABS machine online real quick. So instead of like a 7-hour project that my last enclosure took me, I built it out of IKEA cabinets. So
that's what my ANAT enclosure is.
Oh no, mine is actually cabinets here. I'll switch over to the little stream starting soon. Do you see this? So this printer, Matt, if you look on the stream, you'll see a printer going. That's my AM8 in the enclosure printing ABS parts right now. So that's built with 2 IKEA cabinets insulated with the same material. And I did that about a year ago, I want to say. All of its parts are printed in ABS as well, too. So, but that took me a long time to get it going. And all the electronics are mounted to the back of it. With the CR10, I literally just stuck the control box outside of the enclosure. It's so much easier. Like the CR10 wasn't a thing when I built this printer, and these enclosures just came out. So,
and you're a pie guy, right?
I've got. Do you not see me just literally pull a pie off my desk? Like,
yeah. How many pies do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I've got 19 running. There's another 12 in my bin that are brand new. I haven't even opened yet. I love Raspberry Pis.
Do you even have any IP addresses available for all them?
I right now on my Pis are all wired. I have 36 wireless devices in my house. Last time I checked, I got 2 access points. I got 4 managed switches, 2 servers, and I think we've got, hang on, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 desktops, 3 laptops, all our phones. I think I've got about 150 devices on my network in total.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, we use just internet-wise, we push like 3 to 4 terabytes a month in and out of here. So.
And do you have a business line for that, or?
No, they won't give us a business line here. Comcast will not give us a business line. So, but I mean, we pay $125 a month. We have unlimited data. 25 of that 125 is for the unlimited data. Because we would be getting completely screwed without it. So, I mean, we stream a ton of, like, we got our TV in our bedroom, in our living room. Those are 4K TVs. The one in my office back here is actually a 4K TV. So we got Netflix with a 4K package. So we're always watching streams on there all the time. That pulls a lot of bandwidth. I got the YouTube streams I do. I do a stream at least once a week. You know, like right now, I'm pulling in and pushing out about 30 megabits a second. So, you know, 3.5 megabytes a second. You know, I got your video feed coming in. I got my video feed going out to the stream. And then I've got my second camera now going out to you. So there's a lot of data being moved in and out. You know, it's just a lot of stuff going on here at the same time. And I also offsite most of my backups for my, you know, personal pictures, documents, important stuff. Those all get offsited out to Amazon's cloud. So, and I do a lot. I still do IT work. I don't know if people know that. I still have a couple IT clients right now. So I'm always doing stuff for remote management and monitoring. So I've got a lot of stuff going in and out of here all the time, constantly. So, and we actually have a backup. We have a backup LTE connection here for internet too. So if my Comcast goes down, I can fail over to our LTE, which is, I think it's like 80 megs down and like 30 or 40 up is what I get on it. So it's not bad.
Okay.
Because we get 45 up and 380 down on our Comcast line right now.
Wow.
So I'm waiting for fiber. Then I can get a gig up and down, which would be great.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I used to worry about it when I was gaming, but now I'm on just like a little laptop, so I'm on a budget, man.
You're adulting. I was like, when I broke my monitor, I had this like really nice 165 hertz gaming monitor, and I was just like, well, the sad part is I don't have any time to play games, so it doesn't really matter if I have the high refresh rate anymore. So I ended up picking up a 4K. 4K monitors have come down in price so much. I picked up a 4K 60 hertz one. And it works great. My side monitors are already 4K 60, so I was like, okay, I want to have them all the same resolution. So, but yeah, they're supposed to be rolling out fiber here literally in like a month or two, which would be great because it'd be cheaper than what I'm paying now and insanely faster. I mean, like, I could literally stream 4K at 60 frames per second on that and still have tons of bandwidth left over. You know, like right now, if I add on a couple more things, you know, I'll probably start choking in terms of it. YouTube hasn't complained once about my stream quality, and I can actually see my my like live traffic graphs on my router, so I can see how much, and I know what my line can handle. So if I start seeing spikes and my stream drops, I can figure out what device on my network is completely screwing over everything. So I'm an IT guy, so
that's I'll be picking your brain about some stuff in the future then.
Yeah, it's like some people like forward ports for the Raspberry Pis. I've got a custom built router that runs FreeBSD. It's a distribution called pfSense, and I can actually VPN in on my phone to my router. So just that one port for the VPN service is exposed, so my Pis are not directly accessible to the internet. So basically, when I want to control my printers remotely, I connect to my VPN, which then puts my phone on my home network, and then I can talk to the Pis over that, and it's all encrypted. So okay. I don't have to then expose my Pis directly to the internet. Because if you go on, like, there's a website called Shodan, which basically just crawls the internet, the entire internet, you know, trying to connect to different port numbers on IP addresses that are public, and then it creates a database showing like, hey, here's some random person's like security camera system. Here's a Raspberry Pi. You know, here's a server that has remote desktop forwarded to it. You know, it's kind of exposing the dangers of port forwarding. You know, it's kind of crazy. Like, there's a lot of when I'm bored, I would go on there and see, and there's like people's remote connections to their computer accessible with no password. Like, I can literally go use someone's computer in Japan because they just opened it up with no password or anything on it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I connected one time. Some guy was playing World of Warcraft, just connect his computer. He's playing World of Warcraft, and I like started moving the mouse, and he freaked out. So I don't know if it was a compromised system or he just opened up the port and forgot about it, but he had VNC, which is a remote protocol, just open with no password. So you can literally just connect right to it. I'm glad I didn't see him like watching porn or something. That would have been awkward.
Or sitting there butt naked playing World of Warcraft.
Oh God. I didn't kick the webcam on, so that would have been an awkward moment. So
all right, well,
yeah,
I think we should end this.
Yeah, I think we had a good stream here. Picked up some momentum towards the end too. Yeah, you got some cool projects coming up though. I'm excited to see how the Piper comes out. So I better see something. You gonna make a pipe themed benchy?
Well, eventually I'm gonna get my pipe bending series finished, but I had some logistical problems with my recent move that hasn't allowed me to
get that all done.
I don't have a good good flat surface, so I'm gonna have to go to some remote spot. And I mean, pipe ain't cheap, and it's not like I can just take a $10 piece of pipe off the job without the boss saying, "What do you do with that?"
Don't they have like any cutoffs or anything you can grab?
Yeah, that's kind of what I have for the actual videos that I was gonna make. I do have a couple of full sticks, but the thing is like it's not a 3D printer, so it's like I can't, if I mess up the take, then I've messed up the take, so it's almost like I gotta do B-roll stuff and then voice over it, trying to. So I kind of like opened up a box that I shouldn't have opened up, but
yeah.
Eventually, I'd like to maybe have like a whole series on my channel of just like electrical lessons. How to hook up a 3-way switch. How to.
You know what? What'd be great is like showing people how to use crimp on some ring terminals for the printers. Like instead of shoving bare wires into screw terminals, that would be great. Or soldering. Let's do some inline splices and get some nice soldered, solder joints going for when you're swapping your hot end. I've seen some really bad stuff. You ever see people try to solder their bed wires with like a 40-watt iron, and like the iron can barely get hot enough because the bed's taking all the power away? Speaking of that, you're gonna laugh. Just for doing beds, I have this beast right here.
Holy crap.
This is an actual Weller. This is a 100-watt solder iron. I use this.
To say, what's that, 100 watts?
This is just for doing bed wiring. That's why I have it. That's all this thing does is I solder beds with it, and it gets real hot. Like you can see it's kind of turning like, you can see the discoloration from the heat.
Do you use silver solder?
I don't. I use your standard 6040. I do have like clean free flux. I've also got regular flux, but I use Rosin Core 6040. I hate lead free solder. It solders like garbage. I will never use it. One of my buddies, he does a lot of soldering. As a joke, I switched out his solder for lead free solder, and he was like, "I don't get why this fucking thing won't solder. This never happens. Like this is soldering like crap." And I was like, I swapped it out for lead free. He's like, "I hate you so much right now," because it just doesn't flow as well. It doesn't flow as well. It's harder to work with. But yeah, if you guys are trying to solder your bed wires, buy a 100-watt iron. Okay, it's worth every penny. I think I paid $55 for it, and you know what? This thing is probably gonna get handed down to my kids because Wellers last literally forever. Like, I've got like this thing is gonna outlast me. Like. But Matt, it looks like you need to take a nap and get some sleep.
Somebody's saying it looks like it's past Matt's bedtime. But
you know what? Oh, here we go. Damn it!
It's contagious. But if I wasn't live streaming, I probably would have dozed off a couple of times just sitting here.
Yeah. And someone said Someone was like, "You're live streaming. I'm pretty sure your wife's working because I just got a shipping notification about my package." She is. She's out there packaging orders right now. I can hear the tape.
Mine's passed out.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Yesterday we were, because I downstairs, I sat down, I ate dinner, and next thing you know, I woke up to her text alert coming over my phone, and I open it up, and it's a video of me falling asleep on the couch.
Does she ever send you text messages when you're up in your office? Be like, "Come to bed."
No, it's if I was to look at my text log, it's dinner. We put the clothes in the dryer. Dinner. Night. Love ya. Dinner.
Mine's like at 1 o'clock. It's like, "Are you coming to bed?" Because she'll always ask me. She'd be like, "Are you gonna be up late tonight?" I'm like, "I don't know. Depends on what happens." You know. Because if I tell her I won't be up late, I will be up late. If I tell her I will be up late, I'm usually not up late. So I'm just like, I don't know. Let's see what happens. See how it plays out.
Yeah, she pretty much has come to the conclusion that I'm just gonna be up late. So
yeah. Well, I mean, in my defense, some nights I'm up late because I'm talking to my suppliers in China, and they're not up. They're actually still. It's screwing me over here because I'm trying to get all these parts in for the dual extrusion because I want to get some nice hot ends, some motors, extruders. I want to get all the parts in because we're not making much at all on the board, so I got to make up that difference with the other parts that go along with it. Right. But I sent them a laundry list of can you get me pictures and pricing on all these different hot ends and extruders and all these other parts? And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be closed until May 2nd. We'll be back May 3rd because." Like, China takes their holidays super seriously. Like, it's not just some people are off. The entire freaking country shuts down. The entire country. No packages are coming in or out. Nobody's at work. Everybody's gone. Like, I don't know if they're just, like, having insane parties. Like, I mean, I feel like I need to go over there when they're having a party and they're having, like, one of their New Year's holidays.
United States is one of the worst countries for workers, you know?
It's funny because people think China's terrible. They treat their workers like garbage. But I talked to multiple people over there, and it's not like I ask them, I'll after I'm like done doing orders and stuff, I'll chat with them, and they're very friendly. And they're like, "No, it's actually pretty good over here." I was like, "Huh." Like, I feel like we've been lied to. I mean, maybe it was bad, a couple years ago, but it seems like it's pretty decent over there. Like, you look at the videos and stuff from, like, just the Creality factories and stuff, they're not like sweatshops. They have, like, nice workbenches and stuff, like, safety gear for them, I'm sure some people will be like, "Oh, that's just what they're showing you." But, okay,
somebody's
Tor.
like, "Here comes another hour of live stream, LOL."
But anyways, yeah.
We can chat all night, but I would like to do another stream, and maybe we could do like a build or something like that. But
yeah, that'd be cool. I don't have any printers coming in right now. I think what I might start doing is doing stuff like, "Hey, I'm working on my printer. Just fire on my camera," and because I'd be sitting here by myself anyways. I think that'd be good because I think people want to see that.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun chatting.
Fixing my CR10 stream from last weekend, it was like super popular. It was like I couldn't believe that people were just hanging out watching me fix my printer. So
yeah.
I actually got the Micro Swiss hot end coming from my CR10. I figured I would do a live stream.
I've got that. That's what's on my Mini right now. Chris from Tiny Machines. If anybody's looking at the Micro Swiss, Chris sells them over at Tiny Machines. I like it. It's a nice, quick upgrade, in all honesty. Also, I don't know if I told you, I noticed that there's Micro Swiss clones now popping up from my Chinese suppliers. Because they're like, "Oh, we have new hot end." They're like, "You work with CR10s, right?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, here's new hot end." I was like, "This is a direct Micro Swiss clone." So I don't know if I'll be getting those in or not. I might have them send me one just to check it out, but I feel kind of dirty selling those because Micro Swiss is not open source. Like the E3D ones, their designs are all open, so anyone with the capabilities to make them can make them. But Micro Swiss, not so much, unless they've released their design files. But yeah, they've been cloned, which sucks, which really sucks. I'm actually gonna say, but anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna blame my ADHD on this one. So, but yeah. So everybody, subscribe to Matt.
Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and
smash the like button. Smash it.
If you guys need 3D printed parts or 3D parts for your 3D printer, check out Tim and see if he's got something for you.
Yeah, and if I'm too busy to print your parts, Matt, I'm sure sounds like he prints parts for people.
I can print some parts for people.
Yeah, if you're in there's situations where some people have one machine and their machine goes down and they're like, well, I need a printed part to fix my printer, and yeah. So me or Matt can hook you up. So, but Matt's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, and Twitter are all in the video description. So make sure you check those out, tickle those links. And yeah, I also, for supporting our channel, I don't like monetary donations myself. If you want to support us, you can either buy stuff from my shop or use a affiliate link down below. There's a bunch of different printers that I recommend. There's GearBest, Amazon. There's also an Amazon affiliate link. If you use that affiliate link in place of your Amazon.com, I'll get a cut of whatever you buy through Amazon. So it doesn't cost you anything. It's great. Matt does the same thing too. It's an awesome program. But yeah, I really actually got to remove my Patreon link because I deleted my Patreon because I never posted anything to it.
I also have Buy Me a Cup of Coffee too. So
I got to set that up. That's a cool little thing.
Yeah, I've actually a couple of the people that actually all of the donations from coffee have been from my Delta printer. Like one dude's like, my Delta was sitting in the corner collecting dust until I saw this video, and now it's printing like a champ. So I'm like,
there you go.
I'm gonna buy you a coffee, and I'm like, thank you.
You could use a coffee right now, couldn't you?
Yeah. And actually, Chris Riley kicked me like $50 towards the build on the Piper, so I'm gonna be using that to buy some of the parts from you. So
awesome. Well, if there's any parts you need, hit me up offline, and I'll see what I can do because I've got so much shit here.
Awesome.
And your dog's like, "Hey, Dad, come to bed."
Yeah, she wants to go outside to go to the bathroom. It's been a little while, so.
All right.
On that note, I'm gonna say happy printing and be safe pouring, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping.
Thanks everybody for dropping in. Make sure you check out Matt. Thank you. Take it easy. Have a good night, everybody.